This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Welcome aboard. Yes, sir. We are ready to rock and roll from the beautiful Youth Fair once again, man. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all for joining us. We'll have some fun. Don't know really what we're going to talk a lot about because I got to tell you, sometimes I'll start the show. Man, we got a ton of things to talk about. I don't know about that today. You know me. I'm brutally honest. I'm not a bullshitter. Not a lot going on in sports. I got to say, not a lot going on in sports today, but we'll get by. We got some things to talk about. Overall, got the Heat back in action tonight. Matt Verderam will join us later on in the program around 5:30. Sean Stanley, the man that masters the program and the entire platform, of course. He is going to man those pig races at 5 o'clock because they've got us in the same area. If you are coming out, those of you that are winners, today we will give away 2 more family 4-packs of tickets. So make sure you send us your full name, address, and email. Actually, I don't need the cell phone, the email. They want the email because they're going to email you back the tickets if you win. So those of you that won, they're emailing you the tickets. You'll get them in your email. So check it out. Let me get some weights here. I need some weights. I need some weights. Some weights. Some John weights. Some things will never change. It's just the way it is. Anyway, so let me get the angle here where I can actually read. And the glare is not bothering me. Bitcoin, by the way, is bouncing back. We were at 61.5 at 1 a.m. and now it's at 65.7. So it's gone up $4,000, and we're wondering. Well, and the Fed's also said today that they're going to be easing up and they're going to be lowering rates. And there's 3 scheduled cuts. And as I've predicted from the get-go that it would happen in June on, he didn't give a month yet, but I still think it's going to be in June. So we got that. And so I think that kind of also helped the market a little bit because they know. And usually, traders and investors are ahead of what's coming. And that's kind of what you're seeing there. So if you bought the dip, and by the way, I ran an experiment, okay? For you Bitcoin doubters, for you Bitcoin haters, for you Bitcoin fence straddlers, even for you Bitcoin newbies, I ran a test, okay? For fun on this dip, I went and bought Bitcoin around 65, 64, 63, 62. I think I got some 61 also. So I got a mix, right? Because you never really know what the bottom is. You never really know what the top is. Nobody ever does. Anybody that tells you that, they're freaking liars. I'm waiting to see if what's it called? If this is the end of this and it really catapults, because I'm not buying any more right now because it's higher than what I bought it at. All of that. So now it'll start to, get into profit. But I want to hold off until I know, because if it dips again, I'm going to buy again. And I'm only buying a little bit of money, but I'm going to show it to you, right? And I'm going to show you exactly, and I'm going to show you, watch it climb. I did it on my Cash App where it was clean because I had already transferred anything that I had there over to my cold storage wallet. And so on Cash App, it's really easy to buy Bitcoin and then move it. Also, it's super simple, man. Once you're able to move it, I'm good, bro. As long as I can move it to my safe place, then we're all right. And so I moved it, and so now I just bought this dip, and that's all that's in that Cash App account. And I want to see if this is, we went over 66. Now we're at 66.12. Okay, so 66,259 now. So now we're approaching $5,000 over the low. Okay, which, by the way, I saw that low last night in the middle of the night, and I was going to buy it. I go, maybe it goes a little lower, and that's where you never know when the bottom is, because I could have bought that 61.5 that I saw yesterday just for the hell of it, for this whole experiment to happen. I have to kind of and so I want to hold off, because I just don't want to like right now. What the hell, right? What the hell? I mean, what the hell? Right now, okay, so I invested over time, over the last, whatever this dip was, how many days? 5, 6 days, something like that. Maybe this dip has been, right? Something like that, no more than that. 280. It's at 289.29. So we're already in the green. I don't know if you can see it, but it's 289.38 right now. So we're already up $9.38 from what I've been investing in. So let's see if it continues, because I'm not buying any more because it's already over all the 66,415. Now it's on one of those runs. Now it's one on 66,428, 436. It's on one of those runs now. It's just going, and so I want to run this test because I want to show the people out there, oh, it's too late to get in. Okay, I just put a couple $100 in there just to see what the hell, just to test it out and see how much it multiplies from here. And I want it to, and it's gonna, when it gets back to 75,000 and it goes to 80, well, not 75 because it's at 73.7 is the record. But when it gets to 73.7 and 74 and 75 and all, I'm going to show you the profits. And I'm going to show you how, but just by taking advantage, it was a nearly 20% dip. It was like a 17, 18% dip. It was 16 yesterday when we showed you, and it dropped a little bit more. I think it got close to 18. It's like 17 or 18. So think about it. Didn't every 20% recover? Right? So it's telling you here's free 20% profit, is what it's telling you. Here, this is a 20% correction. Here is your free profit. In this case, it was 18. If that's what happens, I don't get 18 because I bought it even higher and all the way down. Because again, you never know what the bottom is. But that's why I wanted to do it. I didn't want to just time and try to buy only the bottom and then that's it. I wanted to buy a variety of it. So you can see that no matter, even if you buy it a little higher, a little middle, a little or lower to the low part, either way, you're going to end up making profit once it turns around, and you'll make nice profit on just a small amount of money. Okay. And so we're going to track it now. We're going to track it together, and we're going to have some fun with this. 66,412, by the way. So it is on one of those runs right now. We'll see what happens. Again, not hold on a second. Sorry. All right, here we go. There we go. Anyway. All right. So take advantage. You look at it however you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? But do your own homework. But I showed you guys all the dips if you didn't watch the show yesterday, and it's a gift. It's an investment gift, you know? And so if you would think about this, this is the fourth one, right? Right? So say you bought the 16 and 20, and you bought it along the way, and then you also bought all those dips. You're freaking killing it, bro. You're killing it. If you even got in at 40 and you took advantage, think about the person, like a buddy of mine, when we went to that 38 dip from 50, 49 or whatever, he bought up a bunch at 38. All those people that bought that last dip, it was the dip before this one. Think about all those people that bought the 38 dip. And right now it's at 66,451. You're like, you feel like a freaking god that you bought it at 38. And you're going to feel like a god that you bought it at 61 and 63 and 64 when it's 120. You know, but the dips are there. The volatility is a gift. It's a gift. And I proved it to you already on a prior show. You should make that a segment. Volatility is a gift. Bitcoin volatility is a gift. And then I run them through that graph and they see it, and maybe they, and I get it, man. This is intimidating and it's new to people. But anyway, so good luck to you all. I just want you all to make money. That's all. I just want what's best for all of you out there, for every single person on planet Earth. Let's see what we got here on the roll call. Joseph says, good afternoon. Thank you, Joseph. Ray Sosa is in. Now, Bam is questionable for tonight. At this point, we're going to find people in the crowd. Listen, I'm available. I can only hang out on the outside. I can stand now and I can walk a little bit. I drove today. Today I drove to pick up some food for lunch. And that was pretty cool. I was able to drive. I'm going to drive. My wife is going to take me tomorrow to Hialeah, but I'm going to drive. Maybe I'll have her drive back because it's like traffic. and I don't need to have the foot in that position in the traffic on the way back. But it felt good, man. I can walk, and if I feel like letting the cane go and walking, I can actually do that now. So progress is being made, with the foot. So we'll get to it eventually where we're, you know. And hey, man, extra large looking. How about that? Extra large. Yeah, baby. I haven't been able to wear this psychedelic fur shirt in forever. So I'm fitting into my now I have a wardrobe of extra large shirts. Many of you have not seen, and I have not been able to wear them. And so now I'm able to wear my extra large shirts, which is pretty cool. And by the way, it's not like, super tight on me or anything. So pretty good. Pretty good. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Losing a bunch of weight. Too Extreme, Alexis Palenzuela, Cosa Nostra, Steven Gonzalez, Josh, Rick DeMan, RSL. Pal seems so dubbish. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're not going to come out and ever, he was dubbish, but it's not going to be to a point where he goes overboard, but it was enough if you read through the lines, which, come on, dude, it's an election year. Come on, man, let's go. We know what's going to happen. I mean, it's just, those of us that follow it, we know what's going to happen. They have to ease up. They have to print money. They have to inject the economy. That's how the game is played. Doesn't matter who's in office. They all do the same stupid shit. Big O, I've said it so many times here on the comments. Bam is not the answer. Should have traded him to Brook. No. Too extreme. No. That's an extreme. I have no problem with Bam. I keep saying, remember how we talk about this, Sean, that the people that come out and they say, well, the Dolphins are going to win 13 games every year. And then they get pissed at the team that doesn't win 13 games, but you had the unrealistic expectations. That's you, Too Extreme. I've had the realistic expectations. And I love Bam as a 3. That's what he is. He's your 3, bro. You need him. Okay? But you need to find 2 stars. And you only have 1. Bam's not a star. That's all. That's your problem. That's people on the beat. Okay? That's in the Heat organization. That's their problem. They oversell the guy. Writers overwrite him. Some people on podcast and on radio talk him up way too much, and they think he's a star, and he's not a star. Okay? He's an exceptional role player. He's maybe one of the greatest role players I have ever seen in my entire life. Right? All-star. He's an all-star. All-star caliber player, but he's not a superstar. He's not a franchise player. He doesn't carry you offensively. That's not who he is. He's a complementary player. Maybe an elite complementary player, but he's a complementary player. And that's your problem, Too Extreme. You blame him for something that he should not be blamed for. Pat Riley, who I love to death and is the best, and happy birthday to him today. Unfortunately, the franchise has done a very poor job lately of being able to acquire stars. They no longer have the juice they've had in the past to bring in stars. That's the reality right now. Okay? And again, let's step into reality. I get it. On some podcasts, it's, Homerism USA. It's Hopium USA all the time, and they don't want to live in reality. We have a bunch of terrific young players that they have unearthed and they have developed. None of them are stars. Not yet, at least. Okay? Does Jaquez have some ability to be a star? Yeah. Has he done it yet? No. Does Caleb have it? I think so too. Is he it? No. And Bam has proven over and over again he is unwilling to become a star because he cannot impose his offensive will constantly. So it's your fault. And let's be honest, the issues with the Heat are, and we're super spoiled because of what's happened the last few years, where you've made the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals, and that masks the real issues of the team. that they've constantly given away the picks. They have not managed their salaries well. They have given away a bunch of bad contracts over the last 10 years. They've tied to themselves to bums like Dion Waiters and Hassan Whiteside and an albatross contract now in Jimmy Butler that he helps you and hurts you. Because yeah, it's great to see Jimmy time, but how is it the other half of the year where you're not even trying and you're now this is the norm now. The norm is I may try 40% of the regular season. I'm going to coast the rest. I'm going to be injured the other part of it. And it's going to cause us to be in the bottom of the playoffs. And now we've got to play our living hell out of it to get up to the top. And because it went well for us last year, we think we're able to do it over and over again, which has never been the Heat way, ever. So, all the shit we talked about, that Jimmy is about the Heat way, he actually isn't. He really is not about the Heat way. He's only about the Heat way in clutch moments, in like key moments that he'll try. But the Heat way is working every day, dude. It's outworking. Do they outwork everybody every day? Oh, no. No, they don't anymore. No, they don't. And that's because of that guy. Because the centerpiece. And he's really not even a number one. He's a number one because you have no number one. As I've mentioned over and over again, I'm a Heat fan. I'm a long time NBA fan. I know what a number one looks like. And its name is Dwayne Wade, not Jimmy Butler. Butler is a Batman to Wade, to Shaq. Batman, he is a Robin to Bosh. He is a Robin to LeBron. He is a Robin to a real number one. Okay? I liken this to watching Tony Campbell get picked off the expansion roster from the Lakers, off their bench, and then get picked by Minnesota, and Tony goes on to have an all-star year. Why? Because there was nobody else to shoot the ball for Minnesota. Kelly Tripucka gets picked off in expansion year from Charlotte, I forgot where, and he goes on to have a all-star year. Was Kelly Tripucka an all-star? No, but somebody had to shoot for Charlotte. So Jimmy's a number one here because somebody has to do it, and there's only one guy that has the balls to do it and the ability, balls and ability, and that's Jimmy, even if it's in a 2-point fashion. So your problem to extreme, just like a lot of the stuff that I see around town, podcasting, live radio, written, too many people living in fantasy land, and not enough people have balls to actually talk about what's really going on. Okay? It's a bunch of you that keep putting Bam somewhere where he doesn't belong, and that's your fault. And there's nothing wrong with Bam. Bam is fine at number 3. And then the real problem is that, unfortunately, the Heat are a great organization. They keep winning, and they're going to go to the playoffs again. And so you really can never complain about the Heat. But if you want to really point at the real flaw lately, poor cap management, bad contracts over the last 10 years since the Big Three, a ton of bad contracts. And then you've given away picks and picks and picks, and it just keeps setting you back, and you have no firepower to make the big trades anymore. And so you've put yourself behind the 8 ball where you're hoping that somebody picks you out of just because you're the Miami Heat. And it's just not enough. And so those are the real issues. If you really want to know why you're not getting over the top, those are the real issues. So write about that. Talk about that. Have some balls. That doesn't mean we want any changes, because I never want to see Pat Riley leave. I love Pat Riley. I will back him up to the death, to my final day, because nobody will ever give me what Pat Riley's given me, just the same thing I remember with Shula. I've already told you this many times for like 10 years now. I've been saying this or more. I will never do to Pat Riley what we did to Don Shula. But I'm not going to bullshit. Yeah, they're having problems over there at the Miami Heat with that. They don't know how to get stars anymore. They've lost their way in that sense. That's the real deal, dude. And you could try to build it up and put scotch tape and Elmer's glue and a building block here and a Lego there and whatever, and it's not a championship team. And you can ask, Spoelstra to make a souffle out of whipped cream and cheese. And he does it. But, he can only do so much, bro. He can only do so much. If you don't give him stars, you can't beat stars. And last year, you ran into Denver, who had stars. You can't match them unless you have stars. And you remember what it's like to have stars, don't you? Don't you? Okay. So that's the real problems here. You know what I'm saying? That's where I cut through the bullshit on this show. And we talk about what's really going on. Doesn't mean I want any changes. I'm just saying, this is it. And I'll go through the bad times with Riley because he's given me way too, and this is not bad because you're still going to the playoffs. You've gone to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 out of 4 years, right? I think it is 3 out of 4, and then 2 finals in 4 years, right? Something like that. Okay. So, none of us can complain. You have overachieved to hell 4 years in a row. Overachieved to hell 4 years in a row. Spo has outcoached everybody in the NBA 4 straight years. No coach in the NBA does what Spo did the last 4 years. So I know what the hell is going on. I know the greatness of the coach. But let's really talk about the real issues. And the real issues is they've lost their way. They have no discipline. They give away desperate and bad contracts. It's not really Pat Riley-like. Pat Riley does, knowing that Dion Waiters needs surgery, he still gives him a 4-year contract. That's so un-Pat Riley-like that that to me was like, wow, dude. And I understood the Whiteside thing, but I never agreed with it. I understood the whole, whole upside. We're the greatest at developing. We can get the best out of them. I get it. But it's Whiteside, and that didn't pay off either. So, let's talk about what's really going on. Okay, let's get to that shit, and stop with expecting Bam to do something that he's not. All right. What else do we have here? Isais in. Alexis says, today I officially lost my dog 1 month. I found out he had heart issues. To say I'm devastated, it's an understatement. Need recommendations for adopting new pet. If you live here, pause for you. Please go see Carol. Tell them that Big O sent you. They are by the falls. They're a no-kill adoption. Okay, do not support places that are not no-kill. Okay, Carol and that group of people there, they do a great job. They care about their dogs. They were on the news the other day. Did you see that bitch? She just walked up to Pause for You, tied her dog to a pole, and left. And Pause for You, of course, took in the dog. It's not. They've got a lot of dogs. You know what I mean? They got a lot of responsibility. That's irresponsible. If you have a dog, you should never give up on your dog. So Alex, if you live anywhere near the falls, or it's worth the drive, dude. I don't give a shit if you live in Broward. You know what I mean? It is worth it. They've got a lot of great dogs. Pause for You. YOU. Use the number 4, not FOR. Pause for You. Carol is the owner. She knows me well. I should now that we have this tower thing, I should go out and do a freebie show out there for her and promote her a little bit more, because obviously we're big on adopting dogs. So I would strongly suggest Pause for You. Okay, and tell them I sent you. They're really good people, man. And they do great what's it called, boarding also. They have the cameras and all that kind of stuff. So if you're traveling, Pause for You can help you also with boarding. Okay? And again, tell them Big O sent you. They're good people, man. I've adopted 2 dogs there. Let's see. Jay Gelfin, happy hump day. Thank you, Jay. You're the best. Urban Poseidon 85 says Chris Ike from Phoenix, Arizona, formerly of Miami Gardens, aka 305. Welcome aboard, my friend. Ray Varnicus is in. How much weight have you lost? About 30 pounds. I haven't weighed myself. I don't have a weight at home, but I've lost a lot of weight, right? A lot of weight. It's the last time I went to the doctor, which was a couple of weeks ago, it was in the 20s. So I'm probably somewhere at the 30-pound mark, maybe more. It's gone well. Rosendo is in. It's a wonderful day. Thank the Lord for this day and allowing us to be a part of it. Enjoy it within regulations. Be safe. Brian Landis is in. Eric Nordstrom, Big O, cashed out my 401k, buying it all in Bitcoin. When my finance advisor asked what I was going to do with it, I became his financial advisor. God bless you, brother. Good luck. You're going to make a lot of money. Terry Lynch is in. Daniel Berry in. Robert T. John Padilla. NorCal saying puff, puff, and give. Yeah. We have no COVID out there. You can share now. Bitcoin back up. Yes, it is. Let's see what's the latest with Bitcoin right now. Let's see where it's at. It is at 66,404 now. So it has officially moved up about $5,000 since 1 a.m. So it's this looks like it's the boomerang return back, and it's going to return big. Daniel Meehan says Big O was in Austin today checking out Xavier Worthy. Yes, the 421 man. What does he weigh, like 169 pounds or something? You need an elite role player like Bam to surround 2 stars, but you don't build around Bam. Exactly, dude. Bam's not the problem. It's the way people look at him is the problem. Nothing's wrong with Bam. He's fantastic the way he is. Just don't look at him as a star. That's all. Let's see. The Magnificent Duo is what Aaron is calling us, Sean. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you, sir. Ocala Joe. Missed the live show yesterday for another colonoscopy, but caught the replay. Good stuff. Thank you, sir. And smart man. Everybody should have a colonoscopy. And I know I've inspired some of you already to get it, which I'm really happy I did that. And it's the most ridiculous thing in the world that we shy away from. We think it's something that's weird and awkward and uncomfortable, and it's done in such a clean and professional manner that when you're done, you're like, why didn't I do this before? And so I warned you guys about that, and I waited till I was 56 years old, and that was incredibly stupid on my part. If you're in your 40s already, you should be doing it. So good for you, man. Good for you, Ocala Joe. Crypto Fins is in. Think Blue Dodgers. You saw your Dodgers today. They won in Korea. They had a bomb scare. Did you hear about that? Yeah. So it's so weird, right? You play these games and then you come back for the rest of spring training, and then it's just so odd. But brother, you'll do anything for Ohtani in the game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. Your game is dying at home. You better promote it overseas. Okay, that's the reality. That's the reality. Let's get to the reality of baseball. Okay, the sport is dying in its own home. So for all the people who are like, oh, well, this is an American sport, and why isn't it here? And this, not, no, buddy. It used to be the American sport. But now it's going to become more of an international sport because they need to make it more of an international sport. They have to find that international money because the revenue streams here aren't growing like they used to grow anymore. The prices went up, but not really the streams of it. They're not football. They're not basketball. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting dynamic what's going on with baseball. And for those of you that think that it's crazy for them to do what they did, because I've seen a lot of criticism written about opening up outside of the U.S. and this and that, and I'm like, yo, bro, you're the biggest player in baseball is an international player now. It's not an American player. Okay, it's not Babe Ruth. It's not Willie Mays. Okay, it's not Barry Bonds. It's not Mark McGwire. No, 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 no. Now we're in an era where now Latins, Asians, and others are going to become a bigger part of the game. And it becomes a blessing for baseball in a way because it's, I don't know how it grows here again. I don't know how it competes with the big sports anymore. I really don't. It's kind of become a niche sport. Really, it's what it is. You have opening day and nobody talks about it and nobody cares. I like baseball. I still watch baseball. I still care about baseball, but I'm old, dude. So I get it. I grew up with baseball cards, bro. That was my life. Baseball was my number one sport when I was a kid. By the time I got to I think 10 or 12, football kind of took over, But for a while, baseball was everything for me. Knowing all the stats, every card, all that shit. I went through all that. I grew up that way. But I've watched, what's gone on over time and young people and attention spans. And, baseball's a different sport. Baseball is a sport you go to watch to really socialize with your family, your friends, because you have time. People don't understand we're trying to hurry a game up that is actually a mental game that has physical things to it. So it's just a weird dynamic that we're trying to change something that really didn't need changing. The problem is we changed so much, we're now forcing the game to change. And in the end, it's not going to make it any better, and it's not going to get anybody to watch. But what's going to get more eyes is maybe more international players like Shohei Ohtani, because he's the guy everyone wants to watch. Americans, Latins, and Asians. So doesn't matter what you are in America, you want to see him. You're black, you're Cuban, you're Puerto Rican, you're Brazilian, you're English, whatever it is, you live in America and you like baseball a little bit, you want to see Shohei Ohtani. Guaranteed. And in Central and South America, they're marveled by that guy. And in Asia, he's a god. Who the hell does what he does? Nobody. We had a legend of a fat guy doing it back in the 1900s. And he did it for and if you really watch the stats, as he became a hitter, they lessened his pitching even more, and disappeared. It wasn't the same load. Nah. He wasn't doing what this guy was doing. Nobody's done what this guy's done. So it's actually, baseball's doing something they have to do. And it would be irresponsible for them to not open up in a place like South Korea and take advantage of it. But police in South Korea investigated a bomb threat ahead of the opener between the Dodgers and the Padres on Wednesday. Playing a 2-game set at Gocheok Sky Dome in Seoul. Hours before the game, roughly 150 officers were seen with canine units, X-ray detectors, and other equipments to search the stadium. According to South Korea's Yonhap news agency, the search was conducted after South Korea's consulate general in Vancouver, Canada, received an email from a person who threatened to detonate an explosive at Gocheok Sky Dome during the Dodgers-Padres game. The sender of the email, which was written in English, claimed to be a Japanese lawyer. The threat reportedly mentioned Shohei Ohtani. Police did not find any suspicious objects, and the game was held as scheduled. Padres manager Mike Schlitt said before the game's 5-2 loss that he felt fully comfortable in the environment and was safe. And so there's always a nutbag, right? Wherever you are in the world, it's just the way it is. Somebody's got to call in some crazy bomb threat. But I think people don't look sometimes at the big picture. They just look at their myopic point of view. Oh, that's bad for baseball. Well, okay, that's bad for you. You don't like it. But is it really bad for baseball? Nah, because we're not really missing it here. nearly as much as we used to. You know what I mean? When there was a home run chase, they would cut into television to show us the at bat. That'll never happen again. When there was a no hitter, they would cut in to go to the no hitter. Never happen again. Doesn't happen anymore. You know, baseball needed this. Baseball has to exercise as much options as they can. Shohei Ohtani is a blessing to baseball. It's a shot in the arm that they've needed for a long time. So, before you think it's a bad thing, I think you need to think big picture. Let's see. Captain Saki is in Tarpon Springs. Says, finally, my trip is over. Now it's time to listen and enjoy the show. In Big O we trust. Thank you, Captain Saki. I appreciate you. Jermaine is in. Pat Riley hasn't improved the roster since getting Jimmy Butler. But no, wait a minute, Jermaine. But I was told by NBA people and local writers and people in the national know that Jimmy Butler was going to be able to recruit another star. I was told that. I was told that people would be loving to come to play with Jimmy Butler, which, by the way, they should. He's about the most selfless star we've had here. He's perfect. He's a perfect number 2 for a number 1. He is the most willing passer, and he'll wait for the garbage points. He'll wait for he can't pop outside, and he's not an explosive scorer from the outside or anything, so he needs a real number 1. So it's the weirdest dynamic, right? Because I was told that everybody wanted to play with him, but nobody came to play with him. Nobody was making their plans to come. LeBron and Bosch made their plans to join Wade. That happened, actually. See what I'm saying? And so I don't see anybody making plans to join Jimmy Butler, but I was told many times over, I saw it where you can go back, go find the articles. Can Jimmy recruit a star? Will Jimmy be able to recruit a star? Why don't you go look up on the search engines and check out all the people talking about that and how they're talking about, he'll be able to bring a star. But what happened to that? Because it really wasn't Riley that brought Bosch and LeBron. It was Wade. So don't blame so much Riley. Riley does a lot of stuff, but let's not over-credit Riley for some things. Okay? Let's not go overboard here. All right? But I was told there would be no problem recruiting stars to play for Jimmy Butler. That's what I was told. I'm still waiting for that. Big O, much like Chris Bosh, I would rather have Bam Adebayo play power forward than center, and Adebayo is a number 3 player. Whatever, but until you get a star, you're kind of stuck where you're at. Lisa Rose is in Rochester. Big O, I never seen or thought more Bam than just being a Jet. See, that's not right, bro. See, I'm already going to stop reading that. Once you said Jag, come on, bro. Pat in Asheville, Carol Baskin. It feels like the Heat are stuck in the middle, that they're not bad enough to tank as long as Spo is the coach, but they can't be consistent contender because they don't have superstars or can't trade for one. Right, yeah, exactly. Stuck in a rock and a hard place, as Aerosmith would say. I've been more frustrated with my 10-month golden Charlie than I've ever been. That said, he brings me more joy than there's no way I could ever give up on him. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes my maiden, when I adopted her, brother, Maiden was a pain in the ass for a year and a half. Raising her as a puppy, oh my God, she tore up shit everywhere, bro. Like, it took her forever to stop learning to tear shit up. It was, and I love the dog to death. Now, she's like a great guard dog. That's what she's turned into. I mean, if she doesn't know you, brother, that is one vicious bitch. You don't want to run into Maiden. Oh my God, that is a terror. Okay. She is a load. So I kind of love that she has that in her. You know what I'm saying? But man, I had to tame that shit for the first year and a half, and it was not easy. You know what I'm saying? Bono is like, Ziggy. All my other dogs have never been like Maiden. I've never had a dog like Maiden. Like Maiden she is a ball of fire. Super lovable and super loyal. But wow, vicious. Oh, she is one that I could never allow out in the neighborhood. I have to you have to make sure. That's why I have those gates in my house inside that separate you. Yeah, she's big. She's 75 pounds, and she's super athletic. But it's great to have it. It's great to have it. No, seriously. I mean, like sometimes I'll let her loose when they come to the door, and I see somebody that keeps ringing the bell and they want to sell me some shit, and I look at my Sloman's door camera, and I see it's this idiot, and he keeps. I just go. I let her out, and she goes up to the door and makes that door shake like an earthquake, and that person backs up like 8 yards and then leaves right away because they hear a dog. And if I open that door, I get sued right away because that dog will attack. It's the best dog to have inside your house because she doesn't take any shit, dude. But she was a load. I gotta admit, bro. She broke up furniture. We bought this new sofa, and she tore it up. We left, and when I came back, and it was a leather sofa, and she tore that shit up, dude. I was pissed. But what are you gonna do? Dogs, man. Dogs, kids. We do stupid shit for our parents, right? Growing up, we cost them a lot of money. Same shit. Nothing's different, man. We all got to grow up and learn. That's all. You give them love, patience, and eventually it all, Big O, any words of wisdom on STX crypto? STX. What is STX? Oh, Stacks. Oh, I love Stacks, dude. Now, Stacks has gone up a lot. That's the chain that's on top of Bitcoin. It's the main chain. By the way, that's where the Miami coin was and the New York coin, and that idea that Stacks had, which will come back eventually. We just weren't even close to ready for it because the infrastructure has to be set up for it. It's a lot of things that people don't understand about crypto, and so and they don't understand where we're going, where we're at now, and it's kind of like Biden and this government now that the idiots tried to force EVs, but yet you didn't create the infrastructure first. Duh. You can't do something. You can't have cars and not have gas stations and service centers all over the country, right? That's like, hey, let's go build a bunch of cars, but there are no truck stops. We got nowhere for you to get gas. All right, but let's build up all the cars. How the hell are we going to get around? You got a car that can drive 4,000 miles on gas? No. Oh, okay. So it's kind of the ass backwards thing. And so that's what happened with the Miami coin, New York coin, Paris coin that was coming. All that stuff can happen, but the infrastructure wasn't in place. And that's what, this happens in life. You can't put the cart before the horse, dude. You know what I'm saying? So Stacks is phenomenal because that's where they're going to build. That's where the ordinals are at. That's where the music is at. That's where all these coins are at. That's where they're going to build the DeFi at. So Stacks is just going to, if Bitcoin grows, Stacks grows because the business on Bitcoin is only going to grow. So I love Stacks. I hope you got it. I didn't get in early, so I'm not getting in now, but I'm not telling you it's a bad deal. It's a good company. I just pray for you that you got in earlier so you're already making profits because it's grown a lot. So yes, Stacks I love. I was trying, you got me with the abbreviation for a moment there and you stumped me, but thank you. I got it. Hope that helps. Tombstone is in. Big O, who do you have winning the Tyson Paul fight? Brother, I'm going to be going for Tyson, my man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Tyson to go out like that. I've already seen him go out in a bad way on a bad night. Was it Japan? Since we were talking about Seoul, was it Tokyo? when he got beat by Buster? It was in the Middle East. I mean, in the Asian countries. Yeah, I think so. So, you know, going back to, you know, back to the Asian countries, I saw Tyson at his worst. And when he wasn't really giving a shit at Tokyo Dome in February 11th, 1990, Tokyo Dome. There you go. So it was in Japan, like I thought. Um, so I'm gonna go for Tyson, bro. You know what I mean? Greg J says, "Oh, I'm at work. You make it go so smooth. I'm an Aerosmith fan. If you had to choose between Aerosmith and U2, oh, U2 every time, brother. U2 every time. And I've seen Aerosmith a shitload of times. Love Aerosmith, but you're talking about one of my favorite bands of all time. U2 is, I went to the Sphere 3 times, bro. Think about that. Just think about how fanatical I must be that I traveled to Las Vegas 3 times to see, 2 times and 3 concerts to see U2. You know what I'm saying? I would go anywhere to see U2. In fact, in their next tour, I will go to Ireland because that's my bucket list. I got to see them in Dublin. And I don't know, maybe that next tour is the last one, so I can't take any more chances. So next tour in Dublin, I'm there. So, and I love Aerosmith, bro. Love Aerosmith. John Padilla says, Big O, I'm done with Pat Riley. Wasted Jimmy's prime. Well, I don't know, bro. Jimmy didn't do a good job of recruiting. So the player has to help out too. Gus is in the house. Tua Time says, since it's a slow day, why don't we talk about the great Zion is doing since you dogged him? Is he so he's healthy playing now? Okay. Let's wait till Zion can stay healthy for a few seasons and actually makes a couple of playoff runs and actually accomplishes something. You know what I'm saying? A little run here is nice, but I don't give you props just like that, bro. You got to kind of earn them. When Shohei Ohtani has established 60 records and some that lasted 34 years, then you can compare him to Babe Ruth. He's young, bro. He's going to do it. Time will take over, but you got to give him time to become. He's already going to beat him in pitching. That's already going to happen. So, that's going to crush him. And that he's not. I don't know if he'll ever catch up on hitting, because it's kind of a little late for that. But he's still going to be a phenomenal player, and he's a much better athlete than Babe was. Come on, man. Those athletes can't compare to these athletes. Okay? These athletes are at another level nowadays. They may not be as durable. They may not be maybe as mentally tough at times. Maybe they're not brought up as raw as they were back in the day. These guys were smoking cigarettes and traveling in, crappy planes and drinking till 2 a.m. And, Mickey Mantle was drunk till 2 a.m. and then come out and do 4 for 4 and hit a couple home runs on a bum knee. So, they're wired differently than today's players, but don't take away the athleticism that these people bring to the table nowadays. That's it's sick. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Banning the hip drop tackle makes it impossible to tackle. Also, new proposed XFL kickoff rules is weird, hard to understand. Baseball clock is good. To me, I didn't need the baseball clock. I don't care, bro. I don't have a problem with baseball, bro. Whatever, man. It is what it is, but I'm different. I grew up with baseball, so I'm good with it. I know how it goes. Did Terry Pendleton drive me crazy? Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, does Noma? Yeah. There were some guys that bro, bat already. So I get the clock for that, because my God, Nomar taps this, taps that, fixes this glove, that glove, tweaks this, that, gets in the stands. Come on, bro. So I get that, but and the hip drop tackle you can tackle without it. They weren't hip drop tackling 20, 30, 40 years ago. It wasn't that big. They're doing it now because it's lazy. Okay, because you get to just hang on and use your weight. That's bullshit, dude. Hit them, tackle them, wrap them up, bring them down to the ground. That's what tackling used to be, Leon. So I disagree with you on that. Yuri Cristofanti, Big O can't chase Claypool be our number 3. No, no, no. Plus, Mike has proven that he doesn't really get him involved. So whatever limitations he has, Mike has a problem working with it. Bringing, they shouldn't have brought back Gesicki because he wasn't willing to work with Gesicki. And Gesicki caught 70 balls the year before. And he caught a few touchdowns for New England this year. He caught 4, 5, 6 touchdowns or something like that. You could use him, but if your head coach is stubborn, I wouldn't bring him back because I don't trust him to use him. That's my problem. Let's see. Edward Thurston House says, speeding up the game of baseball is terrible. People get impatient, even going out to have a good time. Leave well enough alone. Pitchers like Mark Fidrich couldn't play in today's game. Yeah. Well, but Fidrich was having like 2 conversations on the mound with himself and trying to decide what to do, and then he would pitch. So yeah, the bird was an odd bird. Oh, the races. We're 6 minutes from post time. Post time, 6 minutes. I've been talking for 54 minutes. Wow. That's weird. Checking in from Opalaka, says Marcellus. Thank you, sir. I hope Pat Riley does all us a favor. No. I don't want him to retire, bro. I don't know if it'll even get close to what it is. The Sphere looks like an amazing place to see. Definitely a bucket list to visit. Aaron, if you have a favorite band, any of you out there besides Aaron Hernandez, if any of you have like this band that you love, like I do with you too, okay, Fish is going. I like Fish, but I'm not going to go to the Sphere. But if it's a band that you love and it's one of your favorites of all time, the experience at the Sphere you will never get anywhere else in the world. It's just they perfected the sound of a concert. It is the cleanest sound of a concert you will ever have. It's like you're listening to a CD concert live. They digitally cleaned it up as much as you can, dude, and it is freaking amazing. I mean, it's got like 1,600 speakers or some stupid shit like that. I forgot the number, but it's a ridiculous number. It really is. So I'm just saying, if you got it, it's well worth it. Okay, it is well worth it, man. So if you guys can get it done, it would be absolutely amazing. Okay. So, what else? Big O, U2, The Cure, Morrissey. Who are you choosing? Well, if it's at the Sphere, I already saw U2, so I'd like to see The Cure now. That's what I'd like to see. And Morrissey, I've seen a bunch of times. Morrissey in the Sphere would not be anything that The Cure in the Sphere with their music. Yeah, I don't want to see Morrissey. I mean, not that I don't want to, but I don't need to see Morrissey in the Sphere. I went to the NBA draft week, right? It was the NBA draft week when I went to the Morrissey concerts that we were there. Or NBA. No, it was NBA Summer League, right? That we were there for the week. So Sean and I covered the Summer League 2 years ago in Vegas, and we were there for the whole week. I saw Morrissey 3 times at the Caesars, and I was in the floor all 3 times. So I'd rather see him in that sense where I'm like up close and there. The Sphere, it's got to be a band that kind of goes with the imaging and everything. You kind of need that. So that's where I would say only The Cure, because The Cure at the Sphere would be, oh my God. That I would go see it as many times as I could. Let's see. Dead and Company are doing a stay at the Sphere. Can you imagine the acid trips at that show? Yeah. Big O, baseball is different today than it was 20 years ago. And going back to the Marlins in 2003, I remember watching all the games for free on PAX TV 35. There's no social media and smartphones. Yeah, I mean, everything changes. Jeremy, everything changes. You know, life evolves. And we have to evolve with it. We have no choice. So that's kind of the way it goes, you know? All right. What else do we have? Do we have time for our 3A Graphics Sports Calendar? Let's do that. 3A Graphics Sports Calendar, Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics, custom printing and embroidery. If you need anything for your company, your business, your fantasy league, whatever it is, they do it all. Shirts, hats, uniforms, pens, papers, calendars. Call them 786-618-1443. Tonight, the Heat are in Cleveland, 7 o'clock tip-off. Right now, Cleveland, last time I checked, they were favored by 1.5. Over and under's 204.5. Panthers are off till Thursday. So tomorrow they're finally back in action. Again, a lot of rest. Good for them, man. They've had a couple of bad games. Speed bump, bro. It's been a great season. Don't panic. NSU, congratulations to them. They beat Florida Southern College 98-66, the number 3 seed. They move on to the Elite 8. Tuesday, March 26th, they will take on the 7 seed Southern New Hampshire University. So congratulations to Nova Southeastern University. Trey Dooms with 19 points, Shane Hunter with 14, and MJ Araldi with 15. That is your 3A Graphics Sports Calendar. Bitcoin, by the way, is right at 66,404. All right. So, oh no, I'm wrong. I refreshed it. It's at 67,000. Well. The 280 has now turned into 290, 252. Okay. We're gonna keep, you know, this is nothing. Wait till it gets like 75 and that see what that 280 is. Okay. We'll see. Check it out. So 67.74 now. It just it continues to climb, man. This is on one of those runs. I think this is the boomerang. Here we go.
Oh, now I know y'all can do better than that. It ain't even hot out here, folks. I said.
All right, our number 2.
There we go, ladies, gentlemen, and racing fans of all ages. Welcome to your 2024 Miami-Dade County Fair in Fort Charlestown. We're going to be here at Show Me Swing Racers from Eastbury, Missouri. Now, if you don't know where that is, folks, that's way down in the Boot Hill of Missouri, halfway between St. Louis, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee, right on that mighty Mississippi River. Now, we're going to bring out here for y'all today. We're going to have 3 completely different heat races. Our first set of pigs, they hail all the way from the hills of Tennessee, and we call them the Tennessee Hillbilly Ridge Runners. That second set are going to be the fastest pigs we bring out. They hold the track records in the cross-country porkathon and are known as the USA Swing Speedsters. And the third set are going to be the most unusual pigs we bring out. These guys were running wild in the jungles of China, Malaysia, and Vietnam, known as the Vietnamese Asian potbellies. Now, speaking of old potbelliers, I'd like to take a moment to introduce ourselves. Well, one potbelly anyways. This little skinny feller back here by the starting gate, that's our potbelly in training, folks, the one and only Hambone. No, Hambone there, he's the brains of the outfit. I know it don't look like it, but he is the real lion swine in our family. He's been to college where he studied pig Latin and got a degree in swinology. So if y'all have any questions at all, y'all hold them into the show. Come down and find Hambone, ask him, and he'll run up in the trailer, have a little talk with them pigs, and see if he can get y'all an answer. Now, as for me, well, as you can clearly see, I done got all looks in the family. They call me Pork Chop, and we are your swine brothers. Thank you. Now, is there anybody out in the crowd that knows how to call a pig?
There you go. Suey.
Nobody knows how to call a pig. Oink oink's a pretty good guess, but suey is the word I was looking for. Big old loud suey is the proper way to call a pig. Now, the reason I ask you, folks, Hambone was kind of a bad guy. He went out before our show, got these pigs a big tall, cold slice of lemonade. He got them a whole pile of them funnel cakes, and he turned their TVs onto the young and the swineless, and now they're almost all asleep. So on a count of three, we're going to need a real loud soo-wee from each and every one of you. Y'all think y'all can help us wake these little piggies up? All right, they sound excited. It's going to be a good one. Hambone on three. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Hey, not bad, folks. What do you think, Hambone? Folks, Hambone's not impressed at all. He said that sounded more like a shoo-wee than a soo-wee. Now, he thinks y'all can do a little better than that. So we're going to give you one more try on three. Let's see what you really got. 1, 2, 3. Hey, now I know that's going to do it. Now I'm going to get some music going because all of our pigs, they used to be dancing pigs for their racing pigs, and they come out their own music. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Tennessee Hillbilly Ridge Runner.
We stay on down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoky smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bill. Once I had a girl on Rocky Top, and the other had cat. As I think about sweet ass soda pop, I still dream about that.
All righty, folks. Hambone's getting them loaded up, silked up, and ready to race. I'm going to introduce them to you. Number one out here singing that famous song, Making Bacon Heart, Mr. Squilly Ray Cyrus. Number 2, we got the one, the only, Mr. Bacon Aldine. Number 3 is going to be the legendary Squilly Nelson. And number 4, we couldn't have one without the other. She come in like a wrecking ball, Miss Hamma Montana. All righty now, kiddos, we got us 4 pigs in that gate, which means we're going to be looking for 4 pig rooters to go with them. What you got to do here, you got to jump, shout, scream, holler, kick your legs, wave your arms, do whatever you can do to get our attention. If we pick you out and your pig wins the race, and only if your pig wins, our beat, only if your pig wins, you come down out of the crowd, cross over under the little blue rope, meet me at the green flag, and we'll send you for the prize. All right, we got 4 pigs, we need 4 pig rooters. Who's it going to be? I need some noise. Let's see, I'm looking for some kids. How about little lady mom's holding up over there in a pink shirt? Lucky number 1. I need a number 2. Who's going to be my number 2? Let's see, in a white shirt right over there with her arm there. Lucky number 2 right there, that little lady. Spider-Man, you got number 3 on the bottom row. We're going to get Spider-Man for number 3. And let's see, I think there's a little one up there, got a cow on her shirt, looks like. It might be a panda bear, I can't tell. Right up there, lucky number 4 right there. All right, we got 4 pigs and 4 pig rooters. Hambone, they ready to go? All you got to know, the louder you scream and cheer, the faster these guys will go. Remember them numbers and root for them pigs. At the sound of the bell, they're off and racing.
Huge crowd outside of the track.
And now for the weigh-ins, out to the ones up front, about 3 and 4, and turn around the track going. And second, third one's got to lead 3 on the inside. Down the stretch going to be lucky number 1 all the way. 4 was coming in hot. Number 1 done it. Number 1 won it. Number 1. Meet me at the green flag. We're going to give her a prize. Y'all give all them little pigs and all my other rooters a big round of applause. Excellent try. And don't go anywhere, folks.
All right, there we go. You got the pig race. They will have, we will have another one, I think. But there you go. Who won? Who won out there? Who picked it? Because I see some of you picking Squilly. You didn't win. Neither did I, because I'm Mr. Bacon. That's number 2. My wife just came into the room and said, "What the hell are you listening to?" Now the crowd is walking. Man, this crowd was way bigger than last week on Friday. I guess because it's this is the second week of the fair, and kind of building up a little bit more and more people are here earlier today. But they had a nice crowd actually, and they have 2 more races actually. Sean will show us the other 2 races, and we'll have them there. All right. What else do we have? Thank you for the compliment on the fur shirt. I haven't been able to wear this fur shirt in a while. Losing 30 pounds kind of helped. So it's pretty cool now. Now I get to go to the part of my closet that has a bunch of extra large concert shirts. And now I have like a new variety of shirts because I was only able to wear my 2Xs. That's it. That's all I could wear for a long time were my 2Xs. So now I've got XLs now that I can wear, which is the majority of my shirts actually are XL. You know, I got a bunch of 2XLs, but really XL is like a ton. And now I've got a bunch of really cool shirts that I can actually wear. So it's you'll be seeing some different threads now, and some shirts that probably you've never seen me wear. I guess we're gonna have another one. Yeah, we have 2 more pig races, by the way. Ocala Joe. Wait a minute. Can you guys still hear me? I just want to know that I got that.
What you gonna do?
Sean is over there. I want to make sure that I'm not screwing anything up. Are you guys still hearing me right now? Give me the thumbs up that you are hearing.
Alrighty, folks, Hambones, get them loaded up, ready to go. I'm going to introduce them to you. Number 1, out here we got the original Baconator, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Number 2 is Hambone's favorite pig, folks, the one and only Miss Christina Aguilera. Oh, number 3 is my personal favorite. She'll be out here shaking that bacon for all y'all to see, Miss Piggy Minaj. And number 4, last but not least, and fresh off probation, we got the one, the only, Lindsay Lohan. All righty now, kiddos, we got 4 brand new pigs. We're going to be looking for 4 brand new pig rooters. Who's it going to be? I need some noise. All right, let's see. How about over in the orange shirt? Look at number 1 right there. Need number 2. Who's going to be my number 2? Let's see. The lady in the red dress. Mom's holding up. Look at number 2 right there. Need number 3. Who's going to be our number 3? How about in the white hat with the long ears? Look at number 3 right there. Need number 4. She's got a pink shirt on up there for Dad tears her poor little arm off. We're going to give her number 4. All right. We got 4 pigs and 4 pig rooters. All you got to know. The louder you scream and cheer, the faster these little guys are going to go. Just a moment here. Hambone will be out here getting them ready out for you. Folks, remember your number. Root for your pig right after the bugle. These guys are going to be off and racing. And now for the wins, out front, here comes 1. It's 1 and 3 and 4 and 2 and around the track. 1 got lead. Here comes 3. It's 1 and 3 and 4 and 2 and down the line. Looks like it'll be lucky number 3. Number 3 done it. Number 3 won it. Number 3, come on down, me get that green flag. I'm gonna hook you up for the prize. Y'all give all them little pigs and all my other rooters a big round of applause. Excellent try. Number 3 was the little lady with the big long hat over here. You just want a pig race. Come on down. Number 3.
Minaj. Piggy Minaj got it done. It's rigged. Look at Al says it's rigged. How can you rig a pig race? You can't control that. Oh, they opened the gate for 3 a little bit before? Oh, okay. All right. So they gave 3 a slight edge, according to Al. I got to tell you, the crowd this time was 5 times the size of the crowd on Friday. It's amazing.
Pig race audience is growing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. One of our listeners says his wife walked into the room and said, "What the hell are you watching?" and he turned to her, "Sweetheart, it's quality programming. I mean, you know, where else are you going to get pig races?"
Gonna miss the potbelly race this time, though.
Yeah. The potbelly races. Yeah, that was kind of weak. Yeah, that one was kind of weak. Potbelly one. By the way, Bitcoin is 66,981. So it went to 67.59, and then it came down a little bit now. So kind of correcting a little bit here, and we'll see if it just boom and continues its up run. But it's nice to see that it's making its run. Matt Verderam will join us at 5:30, by the way. Okay, so we'll talk a little football with Matt. There's some stuff nationally. We'll get his thoughts on the Dolphins, obviously. Not a lot of, I don't think there's anything like earth-shattering going on. I haven't seen anything yet. Sean, I haven't seen any kind of breaking news or anything. I know you've been chasing the pig races, but so far I haven't seen like any real big news coming across the wire. Sutton wanted an alleged battery case. Okay. Police in Florida have been searching for Lions cornerback Cameron Sutton for about 2 weeks after an arrest warrant was issued over his alleged involvement in domestic violence. Sutton is facing a charge of domestic battery by strangulation. Okay, so there you go. Sutton has a home in neighboring Pinellas County, but police haven't been able to find him there, and he hasn't responded to frequent calls from detectives. All right, so there you go. And he is on the line still. So I guess the fact that they haven't officially arrested him and that he's avoiding the police for 2 weeks, the Lions are safe to keep him on the roster. Anyway, so, and yes, they're considering a kickoff change. The committee in the NFL has proposed a revamped kickoff Wednesday that resembles the alignment used in the XFL during its 2020 and 2023 seasons. One of the series of high-profiling changes owners will consider next week at their annual league meeting. The committee is also offering a rule that will prohibit the hip drop tackle technique. The kickoff proposal would be the most significant on-field rule change for the NFL in years, and it's designed to reverse more than a decade of declining return rates while also lowering concussion rates. In essence, the committee proposed it would move the majority of the kicking and return teams downfield to minimize high-speed collisions. Now, the cool thing about that is, you've seen those kickoffs because they're short-spaced, but if you bust through it, you're gone. So there is a challenge, huh? Yeah, the kicker is, and that's not really a line of defense. It's still really 10 against 11.
What I saw and what the XFL was doing was the outside guys would lag back in case they did break through. Then they're right there. Yeah,
you're most athletic.
Instead of Flyers just running straight down, now they're going the other way.
You got to have the Flyers, yeah, the Gunners, Flyers, whatever you want to call them.
It also puts strategy into special teams now, right? It's not just run down, collide, and make a tackle.
So there's some technique to it that you can break somebody free now. And again, I kind of like the idea that the whole collision thing, guys coming from one side of the field to the other, bro, that's brutal. I know it's great for us to watch, but that's brutal. And remember when they eliminated the wedge? Oh my God, the wedge was one of the most killer things that have ever happened in football on kickoffs. That really saved a lot of injuries and pain and shit like that. So I kind of understand this. You know, I kind of get it. I don't think it's a bad thing, and I think there's some strategy to that kickoff actually to do that. So that's good that they do that, and I don't have a problem with dropping the hip drop tackle is something that should be eliminated because it puts players too much at risk. All right. So there you go. And for those of you out there that were talking about Michael Thomas, misdemeanor charges of simple battery and criminal mischief against former Saints receiver Michael Thomas were dismissed on Wednesday. So I know some people have talked about him signing here. I think Tyreek Hill was the one that brought it up. And as I told you, look, Michael is a guy that has a lot of baggage. He's a problem to deal with. So I don't know if really Mike wants to deal with that. And then the other thing is he's inconsistent because he's injured a lot. And so you have that dynamic that I don't know if you really want to deal with that at this point in time. So, but now here's the most screwed up part about it. Michael Thomas would actually be the perfect complementary receiver to the two guys you have now. That part I can't argue with Tyreek on the football IQ side of it. Tyreek is actually right in that sense, but he's the wrong person that I would bring. You know, like I would have done whatever to maybe bring KJ Osborne. I don't know what KJ Osborne's contract is with New England, but man, that's one guy I would have loved to have had here as the third receiver for the Dolphins. I really like it. I don't mind Berrios because I know that Jonnu will be the third guy when it's all said and done. And as I told you, the third receiver should be Berrios and the running backs. I think people are kind of looking too much into it. Look, man, if Waddle and Tyreek are injured, the drop-off is always going to be drastic after that. By the way, Bitcoin's at 67,400 now. So it just continues to climb. It was at 67.59, remember. So it's trying to make back to where it was just at right now. So who knows? But now the races are officially over, and everybody is leaving. Too funny. Too funny. All right. College football and ESPN agreed to a new 6-year, $7.8 billion deal through the 31-32 season. Can I tell you something kind of screwed up? I'm going to tell you something. I don't have a lot of Dolphin topics today, but I have one that I can, and maybe there's another one or two that'll come up that you guys may ask me or something. But can I give you a screwed up Dolphin topic that's not Michael Thomas? Because that one's kind of screwed up because he kind of fits. But there's one guy that's available out there that he really can't be asking for a lot of money, that more than he got last year. And he's going to get significantly less this year because he's not the same player he used to be. But in a third receiver role in this offense, and again, what did I say the third receiver is? A guy that he'll share with Berrios and he'll share with the running backs, right? The bulk is going to be Tyreek, Waddle, and Jonnu. Okay? Let's not kid ourselves. That's where you're going to make your money. But can I tell you something crazy? A guy that I don't like, okay? Odell Beckham's still out there. Odell Beckham. No, Devontae Parker, no. Odell Beckham. He's a guy that, now, he's a knucklehead and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what he's learned, but he would be perfect for this system. And because he's a part-time player, he's also a guy that could fill in for those two guys. When they go out, he can run a route or two for them or half a game or whatever. And again, because of his injury history, you don't have to overuse him. He can be complimentary. Question is, how much does his dumbass think he's worth? And so, if he's going crazy and he thinks he's worth 10, 12, $15 million, I don't think anybody's going to give him that. But in a crazy, risky way, Odell Beckham would be one of those guys that you like, because you're not counting on him to be the guy anymore. That's your problem with Odell, right? If you put him in that position, you're going to fail because he's unreliable. But if you don't have to pay a lot, and maybe it's incentive laden, and he's just complimentary, it kind of keeps a carrot dangling in front of him, and maybe, just maybe, you can keep him busy enough. We all know he loves Miami. He doesn't know how to dress being on boats, but he does love Miami. So we know that. So I'm just saying, kind of like, so kind of interesting. I don't need OBJ's dad's ripping. Oh, well, listen, Tua's accurate. That won't be a problem. That's a problem with Lamar, bro. That's not a problem with Tua. It's a whole different ballgame there. You're playing with the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. So I'm not worried about that, dude. So I don't think Dad would, and again, that's where the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. If Dad's an idiot and the son's an idiot, well, kind of. But I'm just throwing it out there to have some fun with it. As long as it doesn't cost you a lot, it's kind of it's a gamble that could be like a nice little complimentary piece. Again, not a centerpiece. That's where you screw up. If you're signing him to be a 1 or 2, you're an idiot. That's you're dumb. That you don't count on that guy. You cannot count on that man to be a number 1 or a number 2 receiver for your team, even though he has ability. Maybe not as maybe he's not the same as he used to be, but he has no business being reliable in that sense. But in a complimentary way, you give him a $4 or $5 million deal, and you give him a bunch of incentives that maybe he can make 8 or 10 if he has some yards and they have team success and that kind of shit. If you can get away with something like that, instead of him going to a bad team that he's trying to just get some stuff, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know. You know, Costa Nostra says OBJ washed up, no thanks, malcontent too, and I can't argue with any of that. You know, anybody that feels that way, it's fair, dude. It's fair. I don't know if I mentioned Ocala Joe as Cash App and Venmo as always. Thank you. You can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, Ocala Joe. Thank you, sir, for the love there on Cash App. I appreciate it. And you can also make a Bitcoin donation at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. All right. I miss Hialeah horse racing. So do I, actually. I used to go there a lot with my dad, bro. Mike Suarez says, Big O, today I cranked up Firepower by Judas Priest and my goldfish turned into a shark. Yeah. Firepower is so good, bro. So, and let me tell you, their new album, even though I don't think it's nearly as good as Firepower, man, it has opened up really high on the charts. So people are liking, you know, the new Judas Priest album. I think it's all right. It's not bad, but I'm not as impressed with it to be quite honest. But, you know, hey, to each his own, you know. But Firepower is exceptional. God, that's just a great album. That's all. Bottom line, great freaking album. What else do we have going on? Let's see here. By the way, 67,388 for Bitcoin. Let's go with some birthdays today. Let's do that. Today is March 20th. We go with Chester Bennington, rest in peace. He was born in this state in 76. We lost him in 2017. Model Ruby Rose. She is 38. I didn't know she was a model. Isn't this the girl from... I thought she looks like she did that movie with Keanu Reeves. No. She looks like the girl with the knives in that movie. Yeah, doesn't she? Is that not her? Am I wrong here? You guys, what's the? I forgot which one. What's that called? The Keanu Reeves thing? John Wick. John Wick, and it's that you know the deaf girl that has the athleticism. They can go for it. They can get it. She is in John Wick. That is her. Okay, I did not know that she was a model. She did a great job in that flick, acting like a tough girl. Wow. She's in Triple X with Van Diesel. Okay, I don't even remember how that movie went, to be quite honest. Wow, I did not know that. I just saw her face, and right away I thought of John Wick. I wasn't sure if that was her name, Ruby Rose. She was, yeah. Okay, cool. Very cool. Sting, the wrestler, 65 today. Just retired. Okay. Bianca Lawson, TV actress, is 45. David Thewlis, movie actor, 61. Spike Lee is 67 today. Actor, director, all kinds of stuff, man. Fernando Torres, futbolista. He is 40 years old. Mike Day, TV actor, kind of funny dude, 44. Let's see. Michael Rappaport, that crazy son of a bitch, is 54 years old. Let's see. Danny Garcia, boxer, is 36. Holly Hunter, movie actress, is 66. And Jamal Crawford, basketball player, is 44. Those are your famous birthdays today. What? What's that? Mr. Rogers today? Really? Oh yeah. Well, happy birthday to the late Mr. Rogers. Thank you, Rosendo. By the way, Bitcoin now 67,829. It's going up just a tad. It's about to hit 68,000. Did you buy the dip? Did you buy the dip? I'm not a financial advisor, but I have not misled you in this. They've handed you 20% dips 3 times, and this was an 18% one. They just handed it to you. And here you go. Here's 18% more profit for you. Invest. I'm going to show you when this thing gets to 75 where the 280 turn to. Okay? Show you. And then when it gets to 80 and 85, I'm going to show you what it turns into. And you're going to go, it's never too late to get in. And the next time there's a pump, which forget now, at this moment, I mean, you can buy now. You should always buy whenever you get a chance. But now you got this thing going again. And maybe we run now to like 85 or 80 or 90, and then we have another correction. What are you supposed to do? Okay. All right. You've been trained now. You've been programmed. You've been, kind of set up now. I've helped you. 67,901, 904. This is going up at a rate that is just no asset in the world does this. No asset can survive this. No asset can thrive like this. None. No asset has ever been attacked like this. Did you see my tweet that I put out? Yeah, I know. I do put out a lot. Sorry. Anyway, so I put out this tweet yesterday. Okay. And this is what I put. Here you go. You ready? Only one asset in the world can survive and thrive from threats like FTX, Three Arrows Capital, Grayscale Dump, Pandemic, Pocahontas FUD, Elizabeth Warren, Celsius, Luna, Gary Gensler, the SEC, Voyager, Volatility, China bans miners. They brought him back after. Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, Charlie Munger, the IMF, Biden, Sizu, crash to 16K, Bitcoin. No asset will ever survive that. No asset has governments. No asset has people going after them like that because they're a threat. Because they know that they're screw-ups and this is right. No asset in the world can survive that. None. And thrive. It's about to hit 68,000 now. It's ridiculous. We might be at 70 by the time I'm done in this broadcast now. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's moving, baby. It's moving and a grooving. So I just, by the way, we're 27 days away from the Bitcoin halving, where it goes from 900 coins mined a day to 450. The demand is going to skyrocket even more. The availability is going to be even less. This is nothing what's going on with Bitcoin. This is nothing. It's going to go to numbers that are going to freak people out, and they're not going to believe what happened. That's what's going to happen. Anyway, let's continue. We got a bunch of other things to talk about here. First of all, on this date in music history, 1969, John Lennon made the mistake of marrying Yoko Ono at the British consulate office in Gibraltar. In 99, on this date, Radiohead's behind-the-scenes film Meeting People is Easy premiered at Austin's South by Southwest Festival. And in 82, on this date, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts song I Love Rock and Roll was number 1 on the charts. So put another dime in the jukebox, baby. In 2003, Stone Sour, I saw them in New Jersey once. Guitarist Josh Rand became the proud father of a daughter who he named Mia Angelina Rand. And in 91, tragedy struck Eric Clapton. Oh, yeah, I remember this. When his 4-year-old son, Connor, fell to his death from his window of a 53-story New York City apartment building, Clapton would go on to write the song Tears in Heaven about the grief he felt following the accident. Yeah. Great song. And what parent wants to? None. We need to die first. We don't want to see our kids die. That's just, that's just crazy stuff. Are you a Megan Thee Stallion fan? Okay. I can't afford to go to this concert. Now if I could go to a the Stallion concert, but I need to be up front. For visual reasons, I have to be up front. But on Wednesday, she announced the Houston hottie revealed Glorilla will join her on the Hot Girl Summer Tour. Meg shared the official dates on her tour, revealing a poster she uploaded to social media. It's a great poster. That's all I can tell you. It's a great poster. And you may want to check out that poster. She is here June 6th at Hollywood at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Tampa, you get June 8th. New Orleans, you get June 10th. New York City, Madison Square Garden, May 21st. Chicago United Center, May 17th. You can check out all the dates. Ball Arena in Denver, 6/17. Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Arena on June 22nd. She goes to Paris, by the way, on July 7th. Nice. London, July 17th. She wraps it up in Washington, D.C. at the Broccoli City Festival on July 27th. So if you want to see Megan and that body, you got some dates. There's some other dates there. You can check it out on your own. Let me tell you something. What happened? Oh, Matt's there? Okay. Because, no, I was going to talk about some really important stuff. I think Matt will be disappointed to hear about this. Seriously. Did you hear about Larsa and Marcus? They broke up. I thought that was true love. Really? I mean, if Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan can't make it, where is there hope for the rest of us? Right? I mean, seriously. I just celebrated, today's the 20th. 2 days ago, my wife and I celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. I don't know how we've done that. If Marcus and Larsa can't stay together, I don't know. Should we all move forward with our lives? No, right? It's over, right? I mean, really, what is there to live for if Larsa and Marcus aren't together anymore? I mean, is there any hope for humanity? All right, 30 seconds. The great one, Matt Verderam, will join us. We'll talk all things NFL and Miami Dolphins with the great Matt Verderam from Sports Illustrated.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. owners. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome back, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Matt Verderam. Matt, are you depressed about Marcus and Larsa? I mean,
I'll tell you what, during that commercial break, I texted my wife and told her son to get divorced because
I think so.
I don't know. By the way, congratulations to you and your wife for making it 30 years. I mean, here I thought Jordan and Pippen. I thought this one was going to outlast the other Jordan Pippen duo. And
definitely.
Listen, you know what? Sometimes those crazy kids, they just don't make it, and it's tragic. Tragic.
Yeah. Wow. It's just it really was a shocker to me today. I don't know how to recover from it. Actually, I will say this:
his Kardashian marriage. Right? I can't remember which Kardashian it was, but. What were they married for? Like 40 days or something like that?
Oh, yeah, with the basketball player.
For the Nets, Chris Humphries.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
No, and aren't you going to catch the new Caitlyn Jenner and Lamar Odom podcast?
I had no idea there was one.
There is one, and I think it's titled "How We Both Ended Up on Crack."
I don't even know if that's serious or not, but
no, it's no, that's just no, that's.
But that's the point, though. Like, honest to God, if that was the name, I'd be like, all right. I mean, one of the great moments in television history was when Stephen A. Smith came out with the Lamar Odom. The man is on crack. I was watching that for some reason and was just floored in real time. So yeah, that's it's interesting times.
And let's start with the NFL rule change that they're considering. One, I actually like the XFL return rule because I think actually brings strategy. And if you block it right, you can free a guy up and he's gone, dude. You know what I'm saying? So you might have a better chance of getting returns this way than you do the old way because you're just kicking it out of the damn end zone anyway.
Right.
And then the other thing is the hip drop tackle that has to be eliminated. Dude, we grew up with football. There weren't hip drop tackles back in those days. They grab you and they take you to the ground or slam you or whatever the hell it is. But I find the hip drop tackle to be kind of a lazy tackle because you just hook on and just throw your weight. And then, the player, unfortunately, is in a terrible position. So I'm hoping there is a ban there. Where do you stand on both?
The NFLPA came out today in a statement and said that they are against banning the hip drop tackle, which is a little surprising considering health and safety and all the rest of it. I am conflicted on that one because on one hand, it's the kind of tackle where guys can get really hurt. And you don't
Tyreek got hurt on that.
Yeah,
Tyreek wasn't
got hurt on that. On the other hand, my concern is you're just like the NFL has banned so many ways to hit a guy at this point that you're going to start putting defenders in an impossible spot. And I got to be honest, I think that's kind of what's happened. Like in the 90s, going across the middle of the field as a receiver was almost an art form. And now it's just like, it's fine, whatever, run a slant. And it's because safeties can't come downhill and just hammer you. I mean, how many times there's a flag gets thrown for unnecessary roughness and you're like, it's really because you hit him too hard. Like, that's really the reason. Like, there's no other reason. So I'm conflicted on taking out another way to hit a guy. But I do think that tackle is dangerous. As far as the kickoff stuff goes, I think they should do something. And I'm fine with trying out the XFL rules. Like, look, the kickoff right now, the way it is, you might as well just get rid of it. I mean, teams are just booming it through the end zone. And if you're going to do that, fine. Just give teams the ball at 25-yard line. Let's call it a day. I
like that. I like that kickoff. Because there is some strategy to it. And brother, there's 10 against 11 because your kicker's not really an advantage. Right. And if you don't block it right and somebody gets free, there's a lot of open field, dude. So if you have a shifty returner, I think it brings something to the table finally in a moment that is just absolutely boring nowadays. Just boring.
Listen, I agree. I mean, the kickoff might as well be a commercial, right? It's like, I'll go to the bathrooms, kickoff.
Right.
I agree. I think that the kickoff to me too, like a lot of this got a little overblown with how like, it's a huge injury risk. I mean, how many guys really like on the kickoff? I mean, maybe statistically speaking, I'd be proven ignorant on that, but I always felt like punt returns were the thing that really like were hard because guys are just running full tilt, these gunners, at breakneck speed. On kickoffs, it's a lot more sequential and it's a lot more set up and it's blocking. But now the wedge was different. You could kill somebody with the wedge. We were just talking about that before you came on. I said the real change was when they eliminated the wedge because the wedge is the one that was devastating players, dude. Yes. I mean, the wedge was just four guys locking arms and basically hitting you 1,000 miles an hour with 1,200 pounds. Oh, yeah. Linebackers. Like, yes.
No, linemen sometimes. Dude, some people use agile guards. Yeah, man. If you had like a smaller guard that was like an agile one, you probably were using them on the wedge and you were killing guys, bro. You were crushing these guys, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, I'm all for making the kickoff an actual part of the game again and not just, hey, we're going to bomb this thing through the end zone and here's the ball at the 25-yard
line. The Miami Dolphins, one of the things that I think they've been doing was, and I think we talked a little bit about it, I'm good with what they've done overall because I think they've kind of replenished the roster with a lot of blue-collar guys. Although Jordan Brooks, I think, is personally an upgraded linebacker, actually, better than Jerome Baker. Personally, that's just me. We'll see. Maybe time will prove me wrong, but I do see that as an upgrade. And I actually see their secondary now as an upgrade because I think X was at a point where he was just too injured and was not the guy anymore. I think they actually made some nice acquisitions there. So for me, I understood that they want to sign Tua, Waddle, Jalen Phillips, and Javon Holland over these guys. So when you think about it that way, you know how it is. When you actually get on a roll and for 2 years straight you hit on a bunch of picks, you're not going to be able to end up signing all. So how have the Dolphins recovered in your eyes from what the losses were initially?
I think they've done a pretty good job. I like Jordan Brooks as well. I think he's a good player. Poyer coming in. Look, Poyer at this point is past his prime, but he's still like serviceable. So I don't.
He doesn't have to, you know what I like about it? He doesn't have to carry the secondary. He can complement Holland. So for 1 year, I think you can get away with him. And he's a Miami kid, so he's going to be super pumped to play well. You know what I'm saying? And I think what I love for Holland is, brother, he can just put his USB drive right in the guy's head and pick off all that information from his ass for the next year. So I think it's kind of pretty cool. It is risky at 32, but I think he has enough to be a complementary safety, not a lead safety.
I agree with that. And I think Barrett, coming over, listen, I mean, Barrett's a guy at this point who's at the end of the road, but you only need him to hold the fort for, 6 weeks or so. I mean,
rotation.
Yeah. I mean, you're asking him to play well until Chubb and Phillips come back. And then at that point, hey, man, come in and play some downs here and there, and it's fine. Look, I think going forward, the big needs for Miami right now, look, you got to probably add on the defensive line, at D tackle with Wilkins being gone.
Draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right, the draft. I think you're probably trying to upgrade the offensive line, after losing some pieces there. And then, look, I like the Jonnu Smith signing. He gives him a little bit of an athlete at tight end. Everywhere else, offensively, you've got talent. So now my big question with the Dolphins is just, are they going to extend Tua this offseason, or are they going to ride this thing out? And that will be very, very interesting to see what they do. Because, look, let's be real. If you're paying Tua, you're probably paying him $55 million a year. Yeah. That's probably what's happening. Yeah. And how comfortable is Miami paying him that kind of freight on, let's say, a 4 to 5 year deal?
Yeah, I think they're comfortable with it because I think they know what they have to do. I personally have no issues with the kid. I have more issues with Mike McDaniel, how he plays him. He thinks he's playing, he thinks he has Dan Marino, and he has to play him like you play Breeze or Greasy, or, you have to play him the right way. You need to complement him with a running game so he can use play action, and you have to spread the ball around. It's too much overuse of Tyreek and Waddle, and that's why I think the Jonnu Smith is huge. That signing is huge because that's the third guy that you needed. Because that offense needs a tight end, and they have not had a playmaking tight end. Now they have one of the 3 fastest tight ends in the NFL right now. That's what Jonnu Smith is. He's one of the 3 fastest tight ends.
He's fast. He's athletic. He fits in with what they do. A lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. Yeah, I mean, so look, I think for Miami now the big thing is these first couple picks in the draft. I would target the lines. That would be the way I would approach this. I mean, just build up in the trenches. Get physical and along the front walls. If there's a corner there that you love, that's okay, fine. Although I think bringing in Kendall Fuller, I think is one of the better signings of the offseason. Now, he was maybe, of all the signings Miami made, I think he's my favorite one. So, and by doing that, look, it's 2 years, but it gives you time. That's why I said I'd only draft the corner early if they just love the guy. And they're like, all right, well, we just can't believe he's here at this pick.
Right. Right.
But otherwise, you have Ramsey, you have Fuller, you have Poyer and Holland on the back end. Like the secondary is in pretty good shape. It's really, and even the second level, it's really to me about the lines for Miami.
Yeah, no, and I think you nailed it. I think those first 2 rounds are going to go to the O and D line, and they're just going to take the best player available in either way, and they're going to say, okay, well, in this first round, I'm going to take this defensive tackle or pass rusher, and then on the flip side, all right, we'll take this guard or something like that. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Because that's where they need it right now. Overall, they need to plan ahead for the line, and then also help out the D because they lost Christian Wilkins, so they've got to kind of pick up there. It's interesting the way they did it because they got Sealer, and then they signed several defensive linemen and Weaver's kind of a D-line coach. So clearly he's signing guys that he thinks he can develop and get them into a rotational type of thing.
I think right now, if you're Miami, you have Sealer, Phillips, and Chubb are coming back here. You've got Barrett as a rotational piece. I think the big thing is just finding one more guy on the inside, especially who you feel like can give you, 60% of the snaps, 50 to 60%, somewhere in there. If you can do that, you're pretty good defensively. You're in pretty good shape. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of massive needs beyond that. And on the offensive side of the ball, again, look, you're going to want to target the front. I mean, I think guard is a need. They signed Brewer at center. I don't know if he's the long-term answer. They got 3-year deals. You figure he's probably at least around for 2 years. And then how long is Teron Armstead going to play? That's the other question here.
Dude, they reworked the deal. I think he's done after this year.
I do too.
I think that's the way they structured it.
Yes.
I think it's kind of he's out, and then they take their two hits, their 2 cap hits the next 2 years after that, and then they're home free after that. So I think he already had 1 foot out the door. I think he kind of motivated himself because you're not going to leave $14 million on the table. So they kind of reworked it, and I think he's done after this year. That's why I think an offensive lineman will be in the mix in the first or second round.
Yeah, if there's a tackle there that they really like, take him.
Right.
Take him.
Exactly. And
this
they have
is
a young
loaded drafted tackle.
They have a young kid called named Keon Smith that they like. They've had him here for 2 years, and they've developed him, and he actually played well last year when he played in a really short stint. So, I kind of the problem I have with Miami, where I told people, don't jump the gun on this, because you had no idea who the fuck Kendall Lamb was. And he comes in here and he did a great job. And then Isaiah Wynn could not get any consistency with Dante Scarnecchia in New England.
Problem.
And he came here and played a terrific stretch of 6 or 7 straight games until he got injured, but he played well. And so they made Austin Jackson, who had struggled the first couple of years, because I think the people they made him into a good player. So these guys, I'm not effing with these guys anymore when it comes to line. I'm not smart enough to know, this guy didn't fit that scheme. He's more athletic for this scheme. Like the Aaron Brewer kid. He's not 320. No, dude, but they don't want that. They want the guy that can get off a block and get to the second level quickly. And that's why they got an athletic center. It's different. They don't need a mauler. And so then if you're thinking one way, but their system requires something else, then you have to take their word for it. And so the line stuff, brother, I'm not smart enough to say they don't know what they're doing or they know what they're doing or whatever, because they're making chicken salad out of chicken shit at times. And you're like, wow, what is this? And so, they know something when it comes to line play.
Listen, I definitely think that for Miami, this is an important draft in this regard. You have a lot of extensions coming up for guys on this team. The Waddles, the Tuas of the world, obviously some others as well. You got to find cheap talent in the draft more than ever, because a lot of these guys who have been, great finds, guys who have been cheap for a few years now it's time to pay them. And that is the secret sauce of all this in the NFL. If you can draft well, you can pay a lot of big salaries. You can do that because then you've got cheap contracts, on 4 or 5 year, increments. If you can't draft well, then you end up having to do what Buffalo did this offseason, which is unload a half dozen guys because you couldn't draft for 3-4 years. I mean, if you go look at Buffalo, look, I like Kincaid and James Cook, but like they had about a 4-year stretch, didn't draft anybody. I mean, their best draft picks were Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox. Like that's not getting it done. So, you know, you'll get them, and that's why they're sitting there with 6 years and 120 million worth of Von Miller. Because they had no choice. Because Boogie Basham stunk, and AJ Epinesa and Rousseau are fine, but they're guys. Like, they're rotational guys. So this is big for Miami. If you can find the future left tackle, and he's cheap for 4 or 5 years, that's huge. I mean, that's even $20 million a year. Like, that is huge.
And by the way, they're paying their right tackle $12 million for the next 3 years.
Right, which is great.
Right, exactly. So then you start really that's what saves you money right there. You know, when you're able to hit on picks, it saves you money early, but then later on you're going to have to pay the piper, and you're not going to be able to keep everybody. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the way it goes. I hope it doesn't happen because of everything that's developed. I know he has this happy-go-lucky way about himself, but he has a discipline issue and an anger issue, obviously. They have gone to get money in different places. They didn't go get any money in Tyreek's contract. I hope they don't. I hope they, with the money that they have now and with what they're going to get from X in June, that should be more than enough to extend Tua, because as you know, the first couple of years, they're not big numbers.
They're cheap,
yeah, they're cheap. So it's not like one of those things. Tyreek's behavior lately, what's been going on, your thoughts from afar since you've lived it with him and KC, and they moved on when they had a chance to sign him.
Listen, I don't know where a lot of Dolphins fans stand on this, or we haven't even talked about this. I would let his deal play out, and I would move on, because as great as he is, he's getting into his 30s, and as talented as he is, he's the kind of guy that when the wheels fall off, in my opinion, they're going to really fall off. Like he's a great route runner, and he's got great hand. Like he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he should be. But he's also somebody who, like, I don't see him aging like Larry Fitzgerald or Jerry Rice. These guys who are just these pristine route runners, amazing hands, like super
professional,
high IQ football. Like Tyreek is a very good route runner, but his main trait, obviously, is he's got the speed of Superman. I mean, he creates space because guys are just horrified of him. They back 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. I just think at this point, if you're in Miami, you're 2 years into a 4-year deal, and he's been amazing for him on the field. He has been everything they could have ever wanted. But are you really looking to lock him up into his mid-30s? Like, that's where I'd probably say, you know what, man? If you after this can go get 3 and 90 somewhere else, go for it. Like, we'll pay Waddle, we'll draft the guy, because at some point, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Look, in the NFL and in most businesses, employers will put up with more stuff with you the more talented you are. They will put up with your attitude. They will put up with some stuff off the field or outside the boardroom, whatever the case may be. But after you start to decline, then it starts to be a shorter and shorter leash. I just think if you're Miami, do you really want to be locked in on another contract till he's like 34 years old? Probably not.
No. You could get out of this contract in 2 years.
Yes.
And I think you could get 2 more years out of him, 2 good years out of him, and then you move on. If you guarantee him any more money, as you know, that means you're going to be stuck with him even longer. I think, unfortunately, you've kind of reached a point. And by the way, in 2 years, because as I told you, they're moving. They saved their money for Waddle, Tua, Phillips, and Holland.
Right.
Those are the next guys coming. So if you're going to sign Waddle next year to a new contract, right, and next year will be his 5th-year option, then you're going to end up extending him. Guess what? His money gets big after Tyreek leaves.
Correct.
So the next 2 years, you don't have the big Waddle salary. But in year 3, the big Waddle salary comes in, and you just cannot carry those two. And so the next 2 years, you're going to have to work on drafting another wide receiver high in the draft that you can start to groom to replace Tyreek. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it goes. But that's the way it's got. That's the way the cycle needs to run. And this offseason will be very important. If you see they don't reach for any money from Tyreek, then that kind of tells you, yeah, we've reached our boiling point. We've got to get out of this deal in the next 2 years.
Yeah, look, it's some juncture. Again, it's just not worth the headache that comes with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is going to waltz into Canton. He is one of the greatest receivers of his generation. The problem with Tyreek Hill is you never know when the next headline is coming and what's in that headline. And look, when he came out of college, he fell to the 5th round for a reason. Right. And the Chiefs, I think justifiably so, took it on the chin from the media when they drafted him. You know, because at the time, nobody knew who the hell Tyreek Hill was. It was like, why would you take this kid now?
You only knew him for his trouble. You didn't know him for his talent.
Right, exactly. And, look, you didn't, in Kansas City, he never legally got into trouble, but there was a whole thing before the 2020 season about, his son broke his arm and how did that come about? And look, he never ended up being, pursued legally in that. The DA who was going after that case basically said, we think that something happened, but we can't prove it. And, that whole situation was a big reason the Chiefs took McCole Hardman the 2nd round that year because they didn't know what was going to happen. I think a lot of people, including myself at the time, thought he was going to be off the team. He ended up not even being suspended because there was no sufficient evidence against him and the case was dropped. But, look, now all of a sudden, now in Miami, there's just one headline after the next of like, well, this may have happened. This is alleged to have happened. This is going, I mean, it's just, it's not something if you're Miami, I think you're looking to sign for another contract worth the headaches. I don't think at that point, his talent outweighs the problems that come with it.
Does not. There is no way. By the way, what happens with Jerry Sneed? Because he's already making love to the Vikings and Brian Flores.
Well, I've been doing a lot of reporting on this in the last 4 or 5 days. And I was told over the weekend by a source very close to the situation that he wants to be the highest paid corner in NFL history at $22 million a year. And nobody is willing to pay him that much money. And my understanding as of today is that is still the case. The Lions and the Falcons were heavy on his tail in the beginning of this whole thing, going into and even before free agency after he got the tag, but they were scared off by what Snead wants. The Chiefs, to my knowledge, I think the price is a day 2 pick. I think it's probably either late 2, maybe probably a 3. And then I was told on Saturday, the Colts and the Titans were the 2 teams most interested. And then told Monday, the Colts are out because they're not going to pay him 22. It was indicated to me that the $20 million a year was on the table and he won't take it. So I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is there because I can tell you one thing in Kansas City, they are not going to extend him. That's not happening. Like he's either getting a tag, which he's on right now, and he'll play the tag out and then he'll leave, or they're going to trade him. But they have a bunch of young corners, including an all-pro in McDuffie, and they've got other guys to sign. They've got Bolton, they've got Humphrey, they've got Trey Smith, they've got Justin Reed to extend. Like they're not going to give him that contract. I think there's some concern over his knee as well. He missed all of the summer with a knee injury. So if he doesn't lower his price, he's not going anywhere. That's right. The reality of it right now.
Yeah, that was I from what I heard, that was the deal with the Dolphins because with AVG, because a lot of us, I wanted him back badly, but apparently he's 29 and he's coming off a Liz Frank injury. And so they were kind of concerned with that. And that's why they didn't even go in that direction because the injury thing kind of scared him a little bit because Liz Frank is it's a very touchy situation because some guys come back fine and some guys are never the same again after a Liz Frank injury. And so, that's sometimes, man, the injury will scare you off. All right, what do you got going on in Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, quite a bit. A lot of, kind of like recapping free agency and looking at team needs for the draft, just kind of pushing it forward a little bit now. Just kind of going through everything that has happened here in the last week or two and then setting the scene for the next, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So all that'll be up on SI this week and next week. I've got my show, the Matt Verderam Show on Patreon, which is a Chiefs-centric podcast, which I know doesn't do a lot for Dolphins fans, but we also touch on the whole NFL. In fact, on Monday, I did the AFC Power Rankings post-free agency. So did that. That's fun. yeah, got a lot going on. Just kind of getting ready for the draft now. I feel like free agency's a little bit in the rear view. So now it's all about the draft until the end of April.
Follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderam, and you'll get great coverage, as always, of the NFL. Matt, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up next week, my friend.
You got
Appreciate
it.
you.
You got it. Take
thank
care.
You. And thank you for adjusting, because he was a stud today. We had to adjust a little bit here at the youth fair. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you. All right, good stuff from Matt Verderam. Good conversation. There you go. Bitcoin at 67,715 right now. 67,790 is the peak right now in this bounce back. So this thing's moved over $6,000 since 1 a.m. What asset in the world moves $6,000 in 15 hours? No, I'm sorry. 16 hours. Okay? No, 17 hours. No asset does that. None. 67,806. It's impressive as hell. 807. Just continues. Doesn't stop. 820. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but, well, not all of you, because some of you actually don't live here. But something happened to the United States that is not good. We dropped out of the top 20 happiest cities or happiest countries in the world. Yep. Unfortunately, we dropped to number 23. We were 15 last year. Although there's only one thing that I have, they named the top 10 world's happiest countries for the 7th year in a row. And Finland's 1, Denmark 2, Iceland 3, Sweden 4, Netherlands 6, Norway 7, Luxembourg 8, Switzerland 9, Australia 10. The one at 5, I kind of have an issue with it right now. There's no way you're one of the happiest countries in the world in Israel right now at 5. You're in a war. You're dealing with, like, the world is ripping you for over attacking them, and there's no way right now that can be one of the happiest places at this point.
They probably interviewed like 10 people in every country, and
or you were gathering this information before that attack. You know what I mean? Because that attack has changed everything there. There's no way you can live the same way. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so apparently we're out of the top 20. And by the way, from the looks of it, we probably deserve to be out of the top 20. As a guy that's on YouTube a lot and looking at other countries and everything else going on, we're behind a lot of countries. $68,005. Yeah, it hit the 68,000 mark. So there you go. It's this is parabolic, dude. This is parabolic. You go from 61.5 to 68. That's parabolic. You know. Yes, and we've got till we'll be here till about 6:30. So again, who knows? We might hit. I told you maybe we hit 70 before I'm off the air, but we're already at 68. Okay. By the way, where's it at? 296.51. From 280 to 96.51. Like I told you, man, you just DCA down right there a little bit, and you start making already. And this is just a couple of hours in of doing all this kind of stuff. It's gifted to you, you know. It's right there, 68.35. It just continues to climb. It is really impressive what's been going on with Bitcoin. Anyway, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Not a lot else going on, man, to be quite honest, outside of Larsa and Marcus. By the way, I know I touched on it, you know. I don't know how we made it to 30, sweetheart. I mean, Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan couldn't stay together. I thought that was true love. I don't know.
But apparently no Pippen and no Jordan can coexist forever.
There you go. Apparently it's oil and water.
What was the old the country western one? The Hatfields and the McCoys.
Oh, the Hatfields and McCoys. Yes, exactly. Big win for Michael Jordan. Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan have officially called it quits after more than a year together. We're all told all signs are pointing to it being permanent split this time. TMZ has learned Scottie Pippen's ex-wife's and MJ's son have been broken up for a couple of weeks now, and unlike the brief pause in their relationship back in February, there's no hope patching things up in the future. You know what happened, right? He was banging somebody else behind the old lady. The two had a pretty rocky romance, and ultimately they decided it was time to call it a day. With that being said, it's impossible to say for sure that we'll see these two together again, especially considering their track record of being on and off. We're told the 49-year-old Larsa and the 33-year-old Marcus haven't been on speaking terms since the split, and they're both focused on doing their own thing. Well, she's got to have somebody bang her 5 times a day, so somebody needs to, work on that. So I'm sure she'll find somebody else. She'll try to hook on somebody else. So there you go. So for those of you and some of you out there, maybe, you have what it takes and you can become Larsa Pippen's guy. Okay. What else do we have? Venmo, Easy Cash to get out some ETH. Yep, that's right. And ETH was at 3,200 when it went in this dip, and it's already at 3,500. It's like it's gifted to you. It was at 4,000. It's going to go right back to 4,000. It's up 9.5%. ADA was up at 75, 80 cents. It's up 9%. It's up to 64. It's going to climb right back. Polygon was like around 119, 120. It's at 101 now, up 9%. It's going to go right back up again. Atom was in over $13. It's going to do the same thing. All these things are going to bounce right back. The problem is when Bitcoin takes a tumble, the altcoins take a bloodbath. And that's the problem. Okay. Gala is strong, man, up almost 14%, up to 6 cents. That one hasn't lost too much. I got to tell you, the one I've been impressed with was Vanar Chain, because Vanar Chain almost lost nothing in this dip. It's one of the ones that really held strong, like Solana held really strong throughout this. Vanar Chain did the same thing. It held really, really strong throughout all of this. Pretty impressive. Let me see where it's at right now. It is barely up right now, but it's at almost 31 cents. So it hasn't really moved much. It's impressive. Frankie Fresco has an AEW Wednesday. Thank you for the super chat, Frankie. I appreciate you. Okada or Eddie Kingston? Well, you know what? I'm going to rock on through Electric Avenue. Eddie Grant used to do that, and he's from Kingston, man, from Jamaica. And so Eddie Kingston, Eddie Grant, we're going to rock on through Electric Avenue, and they're going to beat Okada. So I'm going to go with the Kingston man over Okada in this AEW Wednesday night thriller. What say you, Sean Stanley? I got 2 sideway thumbs. I don't think I've ever gotten 2 sideway thumbs.
I don't think there's going to be a winner. I think this is going to end up being some kind of disqualification or a schmoz or something's going to happen. Yes.
What's a schmoz?
We just everybody jumps in the ring and they start fighting.
So it's a schmoz.
So there's no winner, no contest. They schmoz the match.
Okay. All right.
But it is AEW. It is Tony Khan. So Okada could win in about 3 seconds, or Kingston could win in 3 seconds, but Okada's the new guy. So I don't see this happening.
Okay. Oh, I love it. All right. Bam Adebayo has been ruled out. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do, bro? This show brought to you by Pepsi and Gatorade. Yes. Yeah, this show is brought to you by Pepsi and Gatorade. Yes. And they can be welcome sponsors if they want. Even though I'm a Coke guy. Anyway, good evening, Big O and Sean. I'm under the weather today, and we'll have to watch later. Had to stop in and say hello and buy the dip. Thank you. You smart man buying that dip. Buying that dip is the way to go, is what I can tell you. Okay? Buying that dip. Let's see. What else do we have? It's my wife's birthday, says Fan Suzuki. Kelly's birthday today, bro. Got her flowers, card, cake, and cup she wanted, and got dinner for her and the kids while I'm at work. I'm a lucky man. Yes, you are, dude. And you're a good man, too. You took care of her, which you got to take care of her. And happy birthday to Kelly. Okay. I hope she has the perfect day with you and the rest of the family and the kids. So that's fantastic. Good job by you, Fanzuki. Way to go, my brother. Got to take care of the women that take care of us every day, right? I got one here in front of me that, brother, I'd be completely lost without her. So definitely got to take care of her every single chance that I get. And Messi is a Pepsi guy. Is he really, or is he just getting paid by Pepsi? You know what I'm saying? Did Shaq really drive a Buick? Was Tiger really driving a Buick? When he crashed, was it a Buick? You know. Okay. Yes.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have fired Shohei Ohtani's Japanese interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara,
Okay.
amid accusations from Ohtani's lawyers that Mizuhara engaged in massive theft.
Wow.
The report says Ohtani's lawyers believe Mizuhara placed bets using millions of dollars in Ohtani's funds with an allegedly illegal bookmaker. The lawyers learned that Ohtani had come up in the federal investigation into gambler Matthew Boyer, a Southern California resident, and then looked into Mizuhara's actions.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So now he probably wishes he would have took more money, right?
Yeah.
This year he's not making nothing. Now this guy, the interpreter, gambled it all away.
That's wow, dude. That's nuts. Okay. It's kind of crazy. But what are you going to do, right? It is what it is. Bitcoin evenly at 68,000 right now. I love it, bro. I love it how it's just holding strong, dude. Strong. By the way, a coin that I think is going to run, and I'm not a financial advisor, never have been, never will be. But Shrapnel was added to crypto.com. So Shrapnel is one of those ones. It's a gaming coin, and it's a game that I think is going to end up blowing up in a big time way. So you may want to look into a little Shrapnel if you want to take a chance, read up on it, do your own homework, make up your own mind. Okay. Jimmy Butler is a Hulu guy, but that doesn't mean he actually uses Hulu all the time. Exactly. You know, is Messi really drinking Michelob? Come on, dude. I've known one person in my life that liked Michelob. That's it. How many people in your lives do you know that says, "Oh no, I gotta, I gotta have a Michelob"? No one says that, right? It's Michelob, right? That Messi does, right? Yeah, Michelob Ultra. Do you think Messi's drinking Michelob Ultra? What's the famous Argentine beer? He has Argentine pizza delivered, bro. You think he's drinking Michelob? Come on, man. Let's get out of the naive world. You know, just because they're endorsing it doesn't mean shit, dude. They're not really honest about it, actually. So, huh? Quilmes, right? I know the beer. I know the beer. It's a white and blue logo, also. Yeah, and everything, just typical Argentina. So, yeah, come on, man. Who's the other guy? Isn't it Jimmy Butler that does Michelob? Is it Michelob? I don't. He probably doesn't. And you never see him drinking the beer. I think you can't, maybe, or something, or whatever. Yeah, it's just on the fridge or whatever, or. But come on, man. Who we kidding here? You know. people are phonies. They don't really like use what they back. You know what I'm saying? And not for nothing, but I actually do exactly that. If I don't like it, I won't promote it. It's not my thing. Yeah, I'd rather do it that way because that way you'll trust me for the next time and the next time and the next time and the next time. You know what I mean? If I mislead you, then it doesn't help. If I tell you, oh, this sponsor's great and this product's fantastic and the product sucks or this, that, then you won't trust me the next time around. So I'm not that guy. I can't do that. It's never been. And I've lost a lot of money that way. I have. I've lost a lot of money that way, but I don't care. It's not, it's not really what I'm about. But, just because you see that, don't believe that stuff. You know what I mean? There's no Buick might have given Shaq a car. That shit sat there and wasn't ever moved. He went in his, Cadillac Escalade or, Bentley Maybach or something. Or come on, man. Who are we kidding here? It's like, let's go. Big O Messi drinks White Claws. Big O, great show today. I've been working crazy hours and need to get caught up, but I heard Miami's setting up for a big move with who told you that? Who told you they were setting up for a big move, Pedro? That's what I want to know. Who's the credible person that told you they're setting up for a big move? That's what I want to know. Who? Because that's where this gets all clouded and that's where we play the telephone game. And we start, and when it gets all the way around, the story is completely different. So I don't know who is one that's telling you, but I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a big move. I think they kind of told you what they're going to do, and they're planning. The big move is signing Tua this offseason, and then next year signing the other guys. But I don't think they're going after. And there's not a lot of what big free agents are left. They're not making the Jarius Byrd move, dude. You just heard it. He wants $22 million. They're going to bring Cam back. They believe in Cam, and they expect Anthony Weaver to get Cam to play. And you already signed another corner for 2 years for $16 million. Okay, that's Fuller plays obviously to his potential. He'll make the $16 million. And he's a terrific player. So I don't know who it is. Dudley Durong? No, that's not. He may have been talking that maybe, but he's not reporting that. Dudley doesn't report. That's not his thing. So either you misunderstood it, because it ain't a report. That's for sure. Now, maybe he's hoping for something big or something like that, but there's nothing big in the works, bro. The big in the works is Tua. That's big in the works, and that'll happen sometime this summer, or maybe even the draft. What? Oh, okay. So yeah, I don't think so, my man. I wouldn't look at a big move for the Dolphins now, and it's kind of dried up already at this point. You know what I mean? So no, I would disagree with that. I don't think there's a big move to be made right now. I kind of think it's kind of status quo. And they're trying to get guys that are professionals, good workers, solid football players, but they're not really going after a star here. They have too many guys they have to re-sign next year. You have 4 guys you have to re-sign next year. That's a problem, and that's why you have to save your cap space. You can't keep everybody, guys. And then the following year, for the following 2 years, free agency will not be nearly as bad for the Miami Dolphins, which is really, really cool. By the way, eventually, you know what? I forgot about this. What if Kader Kohu comes back and kicks some ass? Guess what happens? A year later, you have to talk contract with him. You have to plan for those kind of things. Have you given up on Kader just because he had a bad? I haven't. I think the Fangio thing was, you didn't fit my system, or you don't do exactly. Well, you get out of here. Get out of my face. I don't have time for you. I'm only here for a year, kid. I don't need to teach you anything. I'm not here for 2 or 3 years. I think Fangio was a detriment to the young players. Now that I think about it, how many young players played under Fangio? Because Cater didn't, Cam didn't. You know, that's something to think about now.
When you look back to the coaches of where he coached before, I don't know that you ever had.
I don't know. I can't say that. I can't remember all the guys.
Well, no, I'm not saying all of them, but when you look back, I think most of his defenses were more veteran players, not like you're not bringing in rebuilding, because he was a part of some good teams.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was having to fill in and plug holes with new.
You think
rookies.
about it. Think about it. He didn't really have a lot of patience for young people. Like I said, maybe he knew he was only here for a year by some time in the season already, and who knows? Or maybe he had one foot out the door the entire time and he just came here as a stepping stone. I don't know. But he was not a positive for the Dolphins in some senses. He did a good job overall, but he wasn't flexible. He was inflexible. I find that ignorant. You've got to find to use everyone, bro. You know? That's kind of the idea. That's why they drafted them, signed them, traded for them, all that. And you're not complimenting your front office by doing that. So I'm not giving up on Cater. I'm not giving up on Cam. And these are problems that, you know, nice problems to have down the, not Cam, because it's only his second year and he's a second round pick. So you've got 2 more years. So you're fine. But Cater, this is his 3rd year already. So you're gonna, if Cater comes out and kicks ass, that's another guy you got to think about signing the following year. So these are things that you got to think about. And that's why I've told you guys, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit on some of these free agent changes, you know, because we have too many people that are jumping the gun. Oh, no, we're not as good. You don't know that, dude. They might not be as good. They might be way better. I'm sorry. I think they have a better secondary and they have better linebackers right now. That's just me. Now, the D-line, okay. Okay. The pass rushing, because they're not healthy yet, I'll give you that, man. But I love the middle linebackers now better than I did last year. And Baker, I have a lot of respect for him, but I think Jordan Brooks is a better player. Better all-around player. And I think he's going to prove that. And Kendall Fuller is a better player right now than X. And I have not given up on Cam. I like what I was seeing in preseason. I think Anthony Weaver is, did you hear his press conference? He is wired like Mike McDaniel. He's a teacher. He's a motivator. He's a dude that inspires is what he wants to do. And if in today's world, whether you're a teacher like my lovely wife, or in anything that you teach, I don't give a shit if you're the general sales manager of a sales group. I don't care if you're teaching kids, whatever you are teaching them. It is imperative for you to have patience. It is imperative for you to be able to try to reach people. You cannot be called a coach or a teacher if you're not willing to try to make a difference in somebody. If you're giving up on them, listen, sometimes people give up on themselves and you have no hope there. But if you've given up on somebody that you never gave a chance, then you're really not an educator. You're not. Because the heart and soul of any coach or educator is that you want to pass on knowledge. That is your gift. That's what makes you who you are, because you are a wealth of knowledge. And so when you connect with someone, a salesperson, you give them a sales tip, a student, they learn how to solve a problem, a player, they know how to figure out a play, then you become that much more valuable. And internally, that makes you feel useful because you've reached somebody. You know what I mean? And Weaver, it just seems like he's willing to do those things. And I just didn't think Fangio was. As time went on, did I know that? Did you know that? None of us knew that. But you gather information as time goes on and you see what's going on. Okay, how is this being handled? How is that being handled? And so now you say, okay, all right, I like the way this is being handled. Let me guide you through this. And that's how you reach young people. And I don't think Fangio was willing to reach the young people on this team because he didn't really have a lot of young guys. You know, hell, Who's the youngest guy? Jalen Phillips? I don't know. That's it. I don't know. Everybody else is like a veteran. And that's just wrong on every level. And it shows habitually a problem. It wasn't one individual. It was multiple individuals that he gave up on. He did a disservice at times to the Dolphins front office, to those young men, and to the team, and to you guys as a fan base. So that's just, brutally honest. Big O, has anyone approached you guys to purchase a Gatorade or Pepsi? Yeah, they did. They got one during the break, actually, right there. But yeah, there was one person that was thinking about it and then backed away, and we were like, "No, man, go ahead. It's all good. You can get it." The parade is getting ready, folks. We got the camera ready to show. All right, so we'll show you the parade. And let's see what else. You're right, Big O. Linebackers are better and Fuller is good. You're right, Big O. I like our defensive tackles we sign to them. They're sneaky little signings that are good. Chris, there must be something Weaver likes about them. And there's a bunch of young guys. And so I get what they're trying to do. And what you do is you draft a young tackle in the draft, first or second round. You go developing him with Sealer and those other guys. And then you have a rotation of veteran players that are, and you're kind of getting by. And then you use your pass rushers. And as Chubb and Phillips get healthy, they become part of the rotation with Shaq Barrett. And so it'll kind of be like a slow build, I think, for the defense. You know what's going to have to happen, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, this is the truth here. The offense needs to carry the team more, not the defense. The defense will be better later on in the season when hopefully we get some luck this year and people stay healthy. But getting Phillips and Chubb back to health, that, my prayers to that. That's what we need, some luck this year in that. But the offense, man, they need to take over more. They really do, with the running game, with the passing game. It can't just be passing game. They need to commit themselves more to a power running game. Okay? Chris Johnson, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Very nice. Out in Cali, 818. Thank you. Javon Holland is one of the other young ones, too. Yeah, but he's a stud. So him and Phillips were like already studs. So and you really had no option at that point. With the corners, okay, he had options. And he went to those options. He went to the veterans instead. So it sucks, dude. It sucks. But what are you going to do? 67,751. So just under 68 for Bitcoin. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate you all out there as always. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, the parade is about to start now. We'll give you a shot of some of the parade so you can check it out. We had the pig races earlier. So if you're just tuning in, you can go to the first hour, right at the end of the first hour, the 5 o'clock hour, because we started at 4. So at 5 o'clock, we had the pig races. So if you want to relive those, or if you want to watch it for the first time, you can rewind. And starting the second hour, you'll see the pig races, which are always a trip. The Vikings, by the way, have added linebackers Jaheed Ward and Camu Grugier-Hill. He was here, wasn't he? Wasn't the Camu Grugier-Hill guy here? I think he was here for a cup of coffee. Texans are re-signing veteran defensive end Derek Barnett to a one-year deal. Bills signed safety Mike Edwards to a one-year deal. And you guys saw that the Jets signed Mike Williams to a one-year contract that can be worth up to $15 million. That is one of those that I'm not really that concerned about, to be quite honest. I'm not, because Mike Williams is a guy that is always injured, bro. Always injured. So I would not do it. If you can you get it from the front? Shooting? Because but the gate's going to open right on your ass. That's the problem. They're going to push that gate out. And you will get, oh, wait a minute. Does it go in or out? No, it goes out, right? I think it goes out. I think it all depends. Sorry, bro. Because the gate's going to block you out for sure. So we'll give you a little love on the parade, and you can check it out. But again, I'm not worried about Mike Williams. He's always injured. He came in injured with a bad back. He has kind of been a drag, let's say, for any team that's had him, which is the Chargers. He hasn't been reliable. You know what I'm saying? So here comes the parade. All right, here we go. The theme is space this year. I got the stormtroopers throwing out the beads. I'm the Mr. T of beads. Oh, the glass guy is cool. I like the glass people. That's actually pretty cool. Anybody want beads? I got beads galore. All righty, there you go. That is Le Parade, as it now goes through the entire youth fair. Starts here where we're at, then it goes through the youth fair. Remember, folks, the youth fair is open through April 7th, weekdays, weekends, by the way, and spring break. We open up at noon here. Parking is free every day. Guests 5 and under and 65 plus are free every day. So come on out. You saw a Space Venture theme experience. They got general admission, $16. They've got ride tickets, unlimited rides, up to $40 here on site. You can buy tickets online at Sedano's before you arrive, or go to fairexpo.com. More than 80 rides and 130 food stands. It is freaking awesome. Remember, send us your full name, your address, and your email. Okay, and send it to our DM on Twitter at Big O Show or on Blue Sky, Big O Show. Send me that information. We're going to pick 2 more winners. We've picked 4 winners already. 2 more are coming. So it'll be a total of 6 winners that will get a family 4-pack of tickets. We'll email them to you. So you don't even have to go to Will Call or anything. So we're going to email them to you. So that's why we need the email instead of the cell number. I was asking for the cell number, and then when I gave the winners, I had to ask them for the email. So it was just one of those things. So we will email you the tickets. Those of you that already won, you probably have received your tickets already. So check it out on Blue Sky or on Twitter at Big O Show, on Instagram or Threads, Big O Radio Show. Okay, so come on out to the Dade County Youth Fair, the Miami-Dade County Fair and Exposition. Be there, the fair. We thank Matt Verderam. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend. As always, Ocala says, Big O, since we're close in age, I'm 61. My list of the top 3 all-time best rock guitarists for our generation would be Halen, Page, Beck. What are yours? I would probably put Hendrix, Halen. Who'd be my third one? So many. I'm going to go Clapton. Just to kind of change it up a little bit there. I'll go Clapton. Okay? I'll go slow hand. Let's see. You're supposed to show teats. Oh, well, I'm special. I don't have to show the teats in order to get them. By the way, I lost them. I had a couple of cups. You can buy. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can buy. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I actually lost some of my breastises. So when you lose 30 pounds, you're going to lose some teats. So I would have flashed nothing. Yeah, that's not. That's not what you're supposed to do. Okay. Okada will Ospreay and money let go AEW. That's what Karen Joseph says. Chad says up from Jamaica and Sean. Is he saying that he was in Jamaica? Oh, he's on a cruise. Nice. And he's watching on a dude, you're a stud. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you, Chad. That's absolutely studly on your part. Thank you. All right, Bitcoin holding just under 68 right now at 67,540 now. It just went a little down. It was at 67.7. Now I went down to 65.51, but still a hell of a run. Although I wouldn't mind if it goes back down and tests 61 or 60 or something. It would be nice. But anyway, we're probably running from here after hitting 68. Anyway, we are out of here. We thank all of you out there, those of you that send in a super chat, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. You can make a donation anytime. You can make a Bitcoin donation anytime, Cash App or Venmo. Again, we thank the great Sean Stanley, Eddie, Michelle, all the great people out here at the Youth Fair, making it nice and easy for us to broadcast out here for a third straight year. Really appreciate it. We'll be out here again next week. One more stop here next week. I think it's next Wednesday or something? The third date. I forgot what it is. It's in April, actually. I think it's right at the beginning of April. So we've got about another week and a half. April the 3rd. It's a Wednesday, right? April the 3rd. 2 Wednesdays from now, in other words. Not next Wednesday. The Wednesday after that, we will be here again broadcasting live. We might be at a different spot, but we'll be out here. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow, and we're in studio tomorrow. 10 a.m., right? Because we got, Zin's next week. No? We're at Zin this week? No, where we? Oh, no, tomorrow's Hialeah. I mean, Friday we're in studio, right? Right, Friday we're in studio, correct? Yeah, because Acura will be the following week. Okay, so tomorrow, Hialeah Park, 4 o'clock, and then Friday we have a 10 a.m. show. So we'll have some fun with that. That'll give my foot a little rest. We'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel.